Hey there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Wolters World.
Jocelyn, how are you?
And today, due to a incredible number of questions, hopefully you guys can see us now. If we are running live, I try to go live now. So let me know if we are live. So we're trying to go because there's obviously the big question in the room is the coronavirus, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the CDC versus State Department warnings and stuff like that. I now that questions are coming in. Hi. So are we on?
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Mark. How y'all doing? Live now. Okay. Thank you, Jeffrey. Good to see you. Mark, good to see you. Jose Pereira, good to see you, buddy. Hopefully I'll see you later this year. Yes, Lynn?
Hi, Josh and Laura.
How do you get on the DVD?
Can you? I'll start talking. You want to go do that? The DVD player.
Where are you looking? In my room?
Okay, so sorry. Of course, the kids come down if we try to get them set up. They want to. We since we have Comcast, we're supposed to going to give us tons of internet, but it doesn't always give us a ton of internet. So we have to make sure they're on DVDs when we do this. Hey, Clark's Harbor, Nova Scotia, all kinds of stuff. Okay, so I'm going to start by talking about what everyone's talking about on TV, but you don't see very much information out there, and it is very confusing and it's very, jumbled, and there's a lot of information out there, but there's not a lot of specific information out there. So what I want to go through is talk about the coronavirus and the levels of warnings and stuff like that you have, because you might sometimes hear it's a level 2 or a level 4 or something like that. And what you need to realize is the State Department and the CDC have two different kinds of warnings. Okay, the CDC has 3 levels and the State Department has 4 levels. Okay, in terms of the severity of it all, it starts from 1 is, practice usual precautions when you travel. That's how the CDC puts it. Or the State Department would say exercise normal precautions. So these are the usual travel destinations when things are normally running fine. You have these kind of things, right? And so you're going to be thinking about that. The next level up is level 2. And in the CDC, they call that the yellow level. And that's called practice enhanced precautions. And for the State Department, they say exercise increased caution. So this is where you start to have to hey, look, you should really pay attention. You should look at these things. And the thing is the CDC focuses on, health things. And the State Department focuses on health, terrorism, pickpockets and stuff like that. They focus on a lot more than just the health stuff. So there is that. Now, I know we've got a lot of questions going by. I'm going to go through these different levels. I'm going to talk about some of the advice and some things we found online to share this with you. This weekend, we put out a video on explaining the CDC and the State Department level travel alerts and stuff like that. And one thing I want you to know is up here, there's a link, the cdc.gov. You can go there for coronavirus 2019-INCOV, and they have up-to-date information. So if you're not sure where you're going, or should I worry or anything like that, please go there and check, because things are changing all the time, and we just want to get more information out there, okay? Because I know a lot of people are worried, do I go on my vacation? Do I not go on my vacation? We can't tell you what to do. We can only help you get information, help you make those decisions, okay? Anyway, so then we have what's called the level 3, okay? Level 3 for the CDC and for the State Department, that is the reconsidered travel, okay? And that is State Department's second to worst level, but for CDC, that is the highest they go. And the CDC calls this avoid non-essential travel, okay? And then there's level 4 for the State Department, and that is just straight up do not travel, all right? So right now, if we go from worst to, I guess, least things out there, right now the State Department does have China as a level 4 do not travel to, okay? They have that there. The CDC has it a level 3, that is their highest level, which is the, avoid non-essential travel. So if you think about going on vacation or something like that, they say do not go, okay? And right now, as of Monday, South Korea was, the CDC had them as a level 3, and China's at a level 3, okay? So that's what they have there. And the thing is, these ratings change all the time, so that's why I'm saying go to the CDC website. We are not doctors. We are not experts with these things. We're just trying to get information out there to help travelers make decisions on their travel. So there is that, okay? Now, level 2 incurs with the practice enhanced precautions, or yellow level, for the CDC, or exercise increased caution. That's where you have the CDC has Italy as a level 2. They have Japan as a level 2. The State Department has Hong Kong and South Korea at level 2. And you can already see the CDC has it at a 3 and State Department has it at 2 for South Korea. So you actually do have different kind of levels for different places because the State Department has Hong Kong at a level 2, but then the CDC has Hong Kong at a level 1, which is usual travel precautions. And the thing is it's hard to keep track of these things and know what's there. That's why it's important for you to decide, do I want to risk going to these places, things like that. And so that's why they have these, maybe reconsider going to certain destinations. Because one of the issues people are worried about is people are worried about getting the coronavirus, but yes, it is worse than the flu, but it's not the plague, okay? And it's not Ebola, which is horrible, but it is still very, very sad because people have lost their lives for this. But I think we have a few things, like the CDC put out some stuff. One, anywhere you're going, you need to be washing your hands for 20 seconds, hot water with soap the whole time. And the thing is, you're traveling with kids and stuff like that. Sometimes they like to put their hands in their mouths and stuff like that. Look, you cannot do that. They say, do not put your hands in your face, like in your mouth, nose, eyes, without having washed your hands. Okay, so you may be out looking at things, and here's the thing, probably one of the dirtiest things you'll touch today is a doorknob and a handrail. Okay, so make sure you are washing your hands and stuff like that. That's a really good part to start there. And the third thing they have, wash your hands at least 20 seconds with soap. Don't touch your eyes, mouth, or nose, and then stay away from sick people, of course. So that's the thing there. Now, one of the things that has come out, and I've been reading a lot of articles about this, they're saying, for these regions that have the coronavirus, they're suggesting the State Department, this is what the State Department says, careful if you're older or you already have health issues, or what was I want to make sure I have the right thing.
Compromised immune systems.
Yeah, older adults and people with chronic medical conditions may want to postpone travel to these destinations. Okay, so I want to get that out there so you have the information that's up to date as of February 26th. That's what I found online. So we have these things, okay? Now, since there's been so many, there's no flights going between the U.S. and China and stuff like that. And so people are getting stuck in places. They're getting worried. Well, what if I go to Italy and they don't allow travel from Italy because they have stuff? If you want to postpone your flight to a later date and stuff like that, or switch to another destination, some airlines are very willing to work with you on those things, okay? I will say this is one of those reasons why I always say it's better to buy directly from an airline, because it's easier for them to work with you, because you bought it through another third party. They're like, you have to go through them. So that can be a little troublesome. So I do want to tell you that. But there are some waivers and things like that to check on. And actually the State Department warns about, they say, reconsider going on a cruise, but to Asia and within Asia. That's what they're saying. That's why if it's a level 1 kind of place, you should be okay. They don't have the coronavirus yet, things like that. And the thing is again, it's not the plague. Okay, we are still traveling. We will still travel. We have flights to go to Europe this summer. We're still going. We have flights coming up this month, and we're still going. But the thing is, this is up to you. We're not telling you to go or not to go. This is something you have to decide. We just want to get more information.
That's the thing, is we can give you all the information about what the CDC says and everything else, and we can tell you that we're still planning on all of our travels. We haven't changed any of our stuff. You have to decide for yourself, because your situation is different. You may have compromised immune systems, you may have really young children, or you may be traveling with someone who's older, or you may be older. You need to take a lot of things into consideration. So it is very personal, and you may be going somewhere that there's no issue there yet, or may never be an issue, but you need to take that into consideration. We can't do that for you.
Yeah. And there's some people out here, what about if you get quarantined or something like that? I would say if you take medication, if you're going for 10 days, don't just take 11 days of medication. No. Take a month worth of medication. I know, we're going to be traveling with my parents later in the summer. I want to make sure everybody's got all their medicine, not just for the 10 days we're gone, but also for another couple weeks after, just in case.
I was reading that they're, where they have quarantined people, the quarantines have been anywhere from 14 to 24 days. And so you need to think like that. You need to be prepared that if something were to happen, if crazy outbreak happened, then you guys have what you absolutely need to have. that's important.
So that's what we want to start off to talk about, because I know people are worried about this. It's a big thing. We are still going to be traveling, okay? So we'll still be out there. So if you're out there traveling too and you see us, come say hi, because we're like, hey, Mark, hey! So we can give some travel love to each other. So we have
But don't say hi, Jocelyn.
You can say hi to
Say
Jocelyn.
hi, Mark.
Somebody said hi to her the other day. I mean, so you remember when we came out? I guess that was a little bit longer. We came out, and the guy saw you and we came out of O'Hare. That's right. Yeah, because we never fly to Chicago. Yeah. Anyway, okay, so I wanted to get that covered to help you out, okay? Now, you've all been sending out these questions going by. I have not had a chance to look at those.
I've been reading some.
You've been reading some? Okay.
I want to say hi to Mark Finley and to Darian and
Rob. I saw Rob on there.
Rob is on there. Hi. And Terry's on there. Hi, y'all. Amani, thanks for me being your favorite. That's amazing.
It's okay. She's my favorite too. And
so I just wanted to get in, hey to everybody.
He physically loves me more, but he emotionally loves her more. He's pretty good, isn't he? All right, so let's get into some actual fun travel stuff, because you know what? We all will still be traveling eventually. We all still have stuff going on, so we want to help people travel when they are going to travel. So let's look at some of these things. Now, Terry Finley talked about, yes, you should go, Phil Lynn, you should go to San Antonio. We agree. Mm-hmm. We've been to San Antonio before. It's actually my favorite town.
One of my dearest friends lives there, and we have wonderful time. And the Riverwalk is amazing. You absolutely... And it's much longer than you think it is. It goes much further through town than you think. It's not just that little downtown area. So you can follow it for quite a while and have a really good walk.
And I would say also, because most people just think of the Alamo, there's actually the missions outside of San Antonio. That's, I think it's UNESCO World Heritage Site, isn't it?
Ooh, and puffy tacos.
Yeah, and you got to have the puffy tacos when you're there. You got to find a place that has it. And then they have the ice house where you have some beers outside because it's always warm. So you can just sit outside and have some drinks with your buddies, you know. So it's a good time, and San Antonio is well worth visiting. We only have one video, though. We have like 5 tips on San Antonio that could give you some ideas, but then you'll get to see some videos of the puffy tacos. So, Def Leppard Rules Rock. Thank you very much for the super chat. Wow, thank you so much. So, question is it still safe to visit Barcelona solo with civil unrest over Catalan independence? Also, does it seem like the State Department isn't consistent on their advisories and warnings for terrorism to you? Okay, so I'll go with the first one first. I still think it's okay. I was going to go with we still might go with Caleb to Barcelona this summer for a soccer camp. I don't know if we're going to go now because he found a new camp and he wants to go to sailing camp. And we're like, dude, you can only pick one camp because we're not made of money. So we have to see which one he wants to do. But yeah, no, Barcelona. The thing is when you have these protests, like the protests in France before that, well, they're still going on, like, you know, with the yellow vest, they're not protesting tourists. They're not protesting you. They're protesting the government. So they're not targeting tourists. That's the difference. Because some places you go, tourists and foreigners will be targeted. But in Barcelona, that's not really the case. And you'll know where it's going to be, so you know where not to go, and so you can actually have stuff. Because I've been in places where all of a sudden the tanks roll up and people are running. And I'm like, oh man, like that was not where I needed to be. So that's one of those things there.
And there are places that you can look that stuff up too.
Yes,
that we need to get that out there. That you can. A lot of those marches and things like that are planned, and that's really nice for those of us who aren't from those places. So you can find that information for when you're going to be there.
So,
okay.
So, yes.
Second question.
Okay. Okay, we can scroll back there. So if you had questions before, put those questions back up now so we have more information, more of these things. So
he didn't answer his second
question. The second question, right. Also, does it seem like the State Department isn't consistent with their advisors and warnings for terrorism to you? Yeah. Kind of like sometimes I'm like, wait, you changed it, but when are you going to move it down or when do you move it up? It is kind of difficult. That's why, I mean, in terms of coronavirus, I think it's important that you look at the CDC stuff and the State Department stuff because there might be other things to consider.
And check them daily because they can change. Yeah,
because the updates are coming with, infections or whatever. And it's not just, this isn't something that we are only looking at now because of this virus. This is something we check consistently. Like I take groups of students around the world and these are issues that I'm looking for to make sure my students are safe. And we actually, we fill out forms and all this kind of stuff. We have to look up what is the current status, where do they have it at? If it is a 2 or a 3 or whatever, why are you going to be okay going there? What are you doing to mitigate these kind of things? So we're looking at that. That's why it's always important to kind of know your things. Like, for example, when I take my students, I'm like, look, here is our meeting point in case there's an earthquake or there's a terrorist attack or whatever. Here's what we're going to do. I make sure everybody has their numbers and people back home have numbers. We have copies of passports everywhere, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and
So,
you know what? I also want to say that sometimes I feel like traveling solo in places like that actually might be better in some respect, because you only have to worry about getting yourself out. You don't have to worry about like a whole bunch of people trying to navigate something that could be a little bit iffy. But you still want to be in close contact with people, and so that they can check in on you and you can check in with them. So, Jose Pereira,
Oh,
I'll be
my
going
buddy.
to Budapest
oh,
and
nice.
Copenhagen this June to watch Portugal defend their European title.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Well, so I have all kinds of new Budapest videos. Unfortunately, my hard drive fried and my backup
Yeah.
chip I cannot find. So I have the video of me talking ready and I have the words ready, but I don't have the B-roll because I don't think you want to just see me talking there. Hey, I'm here in Budapest, like our old videos. So we'll have some stuff. Hopefully, if I can get this stuff to work, we'll have that. Because it's funny because it's like all my new Vienna stuff, Budapest, Slovenia, and Prague stuff I have is all got kind of fried, so I'm trying to get those back because I'm taking students to all those places, so I would like to get them that information. So Tyler Cool Guy.
I wanted to answer that too.
Tyler Cool Guy, 88. I was wondering if any concern in doing a red-eye flight, example flights to California, to Pennsylvania. You want to start with that?
I love red-eye flights. I love to get on a plane and go to sleep. I maybe take some melatonin.
If you can sleep.
If you can sleep on a plane, it's great. Mark never sleeps on a plane, but or if I don't have my melatonin, I'll just have like 2 glasses of wine, and I'm done. Just shut me. I'm asleep and I'm good. So personally, I really like that. It's also a time when it's not as hectic and there's not as many people usually on a flight. So it's a little bit easier. So that is my personal preference. So I want to scroll through here a little bit. Benjamin Brammer, thank you for the super chat.
Oh, cool. Thanks, man.
He
Very nice,
says,
Jim.
haven't been able to catch a live chat in a while, but always want to show my support. You guys rock.
Aw,
Thank
thanks,
you. We
man. That's
appreciate
really nice
it.
of you.
Very kind of you.
Thank you. So,
Okay.
Chris Bates. Oop. Okay, so Chris Bates. I am in the hotel business. International travel is down. We are allowing people to cancel, and so great deals at the Grand Canyon and other U.S. locations. Yeah, and that's one of the things is you're going to see a lot of
People are going to change their
Yeah.
plans and stay maybe more domestically or do more staycations. There's going to be like maybe a little bit of a shift in between, like people going to other places in the world.
because what's happened sometimes when you change your you want to talk?
No, go on.
Because sometimes
Because
some
this is my
airlines
fault.
will let you, if you have to make a switch for something, they'll actually let you like, look, you have like, I mean, I know I had to switch a flight. I was supposed to go to England for a conference. You were a little ill, so I need to stay here with the kids, and we had some other stuff. So
There was a lot of stuff happening right then.
So well, I
more
ended
than
up
a little ill.
Yeah, you were more than a little ill. It was like I cannot leave her. This is not good. No, but I it was very nice. I contacted Delta. I mean, guys, you know I like Delta. You know we like them, and I contacted them like, yeah, we can take care of this. It's okay, but we can only give you credit, but you have to use it by a
It's
year
like
from
within a year or
within
6
no,
months.
it's within a year of when I actually bought the ticket. So I only
That's
have
right.
until like August to use the credit I have. Otherwise, it disappears. So you have that. So Lynn Novak, thank you very much for the super chat. She
That's
says,
awesome.
send Liam to Camp Fund. You're right. Liam needs some camp time too. Just kidding. Love your channel. Thank you, Lynn.
That's very cool. Thank you.
Put that.
And funny.
Yeah, because I'll be like, can I have the tip? No, it goes to your camp fund. We'll get you there.
That's awesome.
Oh, Jeffrey Bloom, thank you for the super chat as well. What is the best typical local food in Tanzania? Okay.
Oh,
I'm actually we're
we
actually
ate well in Tanzania.
we ate very well in Tanzania. So Rwanda was more vegetarian food. Tanzania, actually we had some really good fish from the lakes that were there.
Lots of freshwater fish.
Lots of what else we have? There's a lot of
There was actually we had soup almost every day.
yes.
The soups were really good too. Often I find that soups around the world are not to my liking. They're just sort of bland. At least in, I don't know. Anyway, just in certain places. But Tanzania had really good, really flavorful soups.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. I know that doesn't sound exciting, but it was really good.
But I remember we did enjoy the food when we were there. It was quite varied. And the thing is, when you go if you go to like the coast versus like by the Serengeti, you'll have different stuff when you're there. But yeah, and actually, so we're going to be talking on Tanzania at Liam's school in a couple weeks. So I'm actually putting together one of our Tanzania videos, the don'ts of safari and what to know before you go on a safari. So we'll actually have videos that are going to go through and show the foods and stuff like that. So we'll have some videos just for you, Jeff. So thank you for writing. And Joanna Kula, I remember 40,000 subscribers. It's been a few years.
That's that's so flattering that you're still with us after all this time, because 40,000 subscribers was a minute ago.
Oh, Joe Broliard, this is my first live, not recorded event with you guys. You're my favorite travel folks on YouTube. Thank you, Joe. That is really nice of you.
Very cool.
Okay, Sarah Weiss. Hello, first time leaving the U.S., going to Montreal. Any tips on driving in the city? Have heard the driving is crazy.
I was going to say don't drive in Montreal.
Well, that was what I was thinking of Quebec City. Quebec City's okay. Yeah, Montreal, you can. Yeah, but park the car and leave it.
That's it. That's what we did. We drove in. We got to our hotel. We parked the car. We left the car there. Mm-hmm. And then and actually it was a pretty easy town to explore on foot. I mean, there's a lot of things that are near to one another. The things that were a little ways out, we just ended up taking a taxi, and I'm sure they have Uber there. So yeah, just don't drive around if you can help it. Michael Mann, thank you very much for the super chat, and good evening. Okay, Mark and Jocelyn, I have a serious problem. I'm addicted to Delta Biscoff cookies, and the wonderful flight crews are just enablers at this point. We know what you mean.
We know what you mean, man. We were on a flight recently, and I came in, and the flight attendant, it was the first time a flight attendant ever said they recognized me. And she's like, "Hey, I watch your videos. Thank you." I'm like, "Oh, thank you." And so she comes in, and she's like, she knew. She's like, "Jack and Ginger, Biscoff cookie." I'm like,
she must have really watched our stuff.
So she just starts like, "Here you go," and then she gives like 2 more to Liam and 2 more.
How about when Liam? This was like maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and Liam said, "Ooh, Delta cookies," and he was like all excited about it. And Mark tweeted it out, and
to Delta,
yeah, he tweeted to Delta, and they literally sent us.
No, they sent Liam.
Well, they sent Liam.
It was addressed to Liam.
It was sent
because he has his own Delta number. Mm-hmm. So they
got his information, and they sent him a box full of Delta cookies, aka Biscoffs. What else was in there?
So when you go to the airport and they have like the toys for kids with the airplane and the van and the stuff. So you had that. So there was like the set was the cast the die cast set, and then there was like the pullback and the plane goes off. You had that. I mean the box. I can't show you. The box was bigger than
that.
No, I was there, and
it was bigger than shoebox.
And also there were Delta coffee mugs, which my mom stole.
Yes.
So I'm like, wow, it seems like there's more stuff here. And I'm like, I kind of took the coffee mugs.
We don't drink coffee.
So we're like, okay, Mom, you can have that. So it was pretty funny. So we feel your pain, Michael. Oh, Joe, thank you so much, man. You didn't need to do that, but we really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
And Eddie Cordero.
Eddie Cordero, thank you. You guys rock. You rock too. And all you travelers rock. You all have been supporting us since, I know Joanna's been there since 40,000, but there's been people here that have been here since, 1,000 and stuff. So it's, I mean, heck, my mom didn't even subscribe to, we had like 30 or 40,000. So, I appreciate
Joanna's
you all.
Probably been there
and for those of you that,
mom.
yeah, I know. Oh, seriously. My mom's like, "You make videos?" I'm like, "Yes, Mom." Like my mom, well, now she recommends us to all of her friends, but for a long time, she's like, "My neighbor went to this place." I'm like, "Mom, I lived in Germany for 2.5 years, and I've been there every year for like 25 years. Oh, well, you should talk to him." I'm like, "Mom, I could give you advice." So it's kind of funny that way. Okay, so M798113 or wait one. Excuse me. Sorry. Going to Lucerne in 3 weeks because of your recommendations. Awesome.
Lucerne's
He Bros Rock. Thank you, Jay. Now, Lucerne, actually, we might be back there this summer, too, because our fans voted us to go to Switzerland. So we gave them a choice. Bulgaria, Romania, Egypt.
What?
Switzerland.
I was reading. I'm sorry.
And Switzerland was the winner, so we'll head out there. So we're going to check out those things. So there's that. Just more people telling don't drive in Montreal. Okay, Heath Runyon, I recommend a good restaurant. Heath Runyon, recommend a good restaurant in Paris. La vache
Et le cuisinier.
le
Cuisinier.
in the
Okay, so it's the cow and the cook is what it translates to. It's in Montmartre. What is that street?
I can't remember. I just said the name for it.
Right off the Three Brothers.
I think I have that.
Something like that. It's right. It is. It's right in the stack of mail there. Yeah, we have one of their cards, and they're wonderful people, but the food is always good, and you have to get the poached eggs and morel mushroom cream sauce. Oh my gosh, it is so stinking good. It's absolutely one of my favorite places, and we eat there at least twice every trip. So that's our favorite. And
We had that for your birthday a couple times, haven't we?
A couple of my birthdays, yes. Yeah.
So there is that. So
Bill Baker had smoked beer, thanks to you.
oh, hey, you're welcome. Because I know it's a life-changing kind of thing. Spencer Rebos Max, I'm new to the channel and love it. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Let's
Thanks,
see.
Lynn. Lynn said these live checks are like checking in with my family.
Aw, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks.
So Reggie and her man, where are you going with your parents in the summer? So my mom has gotten really big into genealogy. So last summer, her and I flew up to Scotland and went to Edinburgh. Then we went up to Shetland Islands. We actually found like graves and houses where our families lived and stuff like that. So that was really cool. And then this summer, she wants to see her German and French, like Alsace-Lorraine, German kind of stuff by Stuttgart. So her and I, and hopefully my dad, he's debating if he's going to go, but I think he's going to go. We're going to be visiting Heidelberg, Baden-Baden, and around there. Then we're going over to Strasbourg and Colmar because we had family in all those places. And then from there, we're going out to Paris and flying out of there. Oh, you didn't know I was going to Paris. Oh, you did know I was going to Paris because Jocelyn sometimes
When are you
gets
going to
jealous.
Paris?
This summer with my mom.
That's
And my
okay.
dad.
I'm going to Paris this fall with my girlfriends.
Okay, so it's okay. So you won't be upset.
Hi,
Nice.
Tom in Savannah.
Hey, Tom.
I'm jealous because you live in my favorite city ever. And I don't live there anymore, and it makes me sad.
There you go. Peter Pan got the 18 Rue des Trois Frères.
Oh, the
Three brothers.
Three brothers.
See? Yes, and there's actually just this like local bar right next, like 2 doors down, which is like just a little dive bar but it has a Ghostbusters pinball machine. Our kids always play. It has a CD jukebox, and if you speak a little French, the people are so happy because so many tourists come in there and don't speak any. Last summer we were there, and we've gone there enough times. The guy kind of remembered me. You can see, he's like, "You've been here before."
Well,
I'm like,
and
yeah.
I think it helps when you walk in as a family of 4 Americans, and you're like there
Yeah.
at least a couple times a year.
Yeah, and we always ordered in French and stuff like that. And I remember the guy's like, I'm really happy because you always come here and you try to speak French and we do it. And you order the stuff and it's so nice. He gave me a free beer and a free wine. It was like, I'm like, you didn't need to do that. It's like, no, I appreciate it. Thanks, man. Merci. I'm like,
Def Leppard rules rock. Thank you for the super chat and this wonderful question.
And the question is, what is the worst behavior you've ever seen from fellow tourists?
What's your worst?
I've seen a fair share of bad stuff, and now I would say something, but sometimes when I was younger, I was worried to say things.
Can I tell you the one
I know exactly
what it is.
I know what it is.
I don't know
I
that
can
it
see
was-
it. Can you say it? Say it with the voice.
Say
it with the voice.
Just a minute. I want to set the stage. It wasn't the worst behavior. It was just the most obnoxious behavior. Mark and I got into Paris. We're on the metro. And this girl who is maybe like 18, 19, 20.
She was in college.
Okay,
21.
maybe. I'm just so old. She
was
looks
an
younger.
adult.
Anyway, she was an adult. And she's sitting there and she goes, "Oh my God, I can't believe we're drinking French champagne in Paris."
It was louder. And it
I
was
don't
like
want to be
great.
as loud as she was,
it
and
was-
I'm in my own home.
It was spectacularly horrible. Like I can understand her being excited and stuff.
The entire car was like,
Yeah.
because she was so loud. I mean, like just so loud. And Americans, there are a lot of boisterous people in the world. Americans, our general speaking voice
We're just loud.
is really loud compared to pretty much anywhere in Europe. I think that's pretty safe to say, yeah?
Well, Italians are loud.
Italians are loud, but
Boisterous.
but on the
Gregarious.
metro, they're not really loud.
No, well,
Like
no.
when they're in public transport and stuff, people
No.
take everything down a notch, and that's one of those things that drives me nuts. But I've seen so many people yell at people in service, whether it be in a restaurant or in a hotel, and people are just entitled. And that's not just Americans, it's people all over the world from everywhere treating people anywhere in the world badly, screaming and yelling at people who are in service, and these people can't help, they're like, I'm sorry, this is our policy, I can't do anything about it. And then people are just yelling at them, like ripping them a new one. And I'm just like, oh, my heart hurts for you. So we then always try to go and be extra nice and make people feel good about themselves and their job and the way they handle things like that, because that's tough.
Yeah.
I was a server in college, and man, I went through some stuff from ugly tourists and just ugly people in general. So we try to be extra kind.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
For me, I mean, I've seen a lot of bad stuff from people attacking their drivers in Bolivia, like on the Jeep tours, and then like telling the other drivers, oh yeah, and I was telling the other drivers, like, no, it's okay because they pay so well, the drivers don't mind. I'm like, are you kidding me? And then luckily when we got to the border of Chile, those same tourists started doing crap with the border guards. And I'm like, you're an idiot. What are you doing? And so like they're trying to hide in the back of these Jeeps to like go down early. Cops pulled them out, and so we went down. It's like a 4-hour Jeep ride down to the city, or the town. And so we get into town. Like we got to the border probably like 8, 9 in the morning, and so we were down, like noonish. So yeah, I guess it was 8. So it was like noonish. We were back, and so we went and saw the town, went around, did all the sights, come back. We were coming back to the hostel, and it was 8 o'clock at night, and that was the only time. That's when they finally got dropped off. Because none of the drivers would take them because like you beat up our friends. We're not taking you guys. So I don't know how they eventually got home. But it was like, I mean, that and I've seen that a lot, like in South America, Central America, a lot, and we saw in Asia where a lot of people just were like, well, we have more money than you, so you're gonna do what we want, you scum. And I'm like, what are you treating people like that for? So that for me, that's the really ugly
Just
tourist kind of
each
stuff. So,
other.
yeah, just be nice to each other. I mean, a thank you, a merci goes a long way. You'd be surprised how much that really helps. So.
I want to address a couple questions. First, Jose Pereira, thank you. Rewatched your Copenhagen, Denmark videos, also Budapest videos, of course. But tell me more about those Danish bakeries again. I'll be there for 48 hours.
Oh, they're all over, dude. You'll see them when you'll walk by because they're like fantastic. It's like in the window is all the bakery stuff, and then you go in, there's even more bakery stuff. And I would recommend just get like you want to make sure you get the cinnamon roll, okay? Because that's like the thing, and they'll come in various different sizes. As our kids are sneaking food upstairs. They'll come in very different sizes, very different stuff, but you can have like your Danish too. But there's so many things to have. I would recommend like just have that be your breakfast and your snack in the afternoon. Just get like a few different ones to try. And dude, I'm jealous because oh my god, they're so good. So you'll be good.
Tom says I think Americans get such a bad rap. We're very chill people. Yes, we do get a bad rap, and most of that comes from the fact that we, like I said, our speaking voice is just really loud. So people hear us, and we draw a lot of attention to ourselves, and so then things get picked out more than with maybe other tourists who are quieter and a little like more under the radar. I don't think that Americans are bad tourists. And
if you talk to some places, they love American tourists because they pay the money. They're like, look, they spend money. They don't do the cheap way. They get the nice apartments, they get the hotels, they get the drivers.
In my experience, Americans tend to be pretty outgoing, and so there are some places in the world where they don't like that so much, and so that's like another whole ball of worms. That's not right. What's the thing with worms? Whatever. Barrel of monkeys, ball of worms. What's worms? Never mind. Y'all, my ADD is on fire again.
In a barrel? I have
no
idea what you're talking about.
It's a whole nother something of worms.
I'm going to move on to the next question.
It's a can of worms. Gosh, I'm sorry.
I love you.
I'm special. I need some wine.
No kidding. Yes, Peter Pan, you're right. The Untitled POS is universal, sadly.
That is universal.
And I don't know, did you talk about, I think one of the reasons why Americans get a pretty bad rap is because when people travel, the de facto language is English, so they yell at people in English. And so since you speak English from the U.S., and most people have an American accent when they speak English, not a British accent, we kind of get a little extra on there.
And people think we're yelling, and we're not even yelling.
Yeah, it's like people think Germans are mad all the time because Germans like, yeah, ich liebe dich, du bist mein Schatz, ich werde mit dir bis, like, and that was all like, I love you, you're my treasure, like, but that's how it sounds. So it's kind of interesting. Like in Croatia, it's the same thing. Serbia, it's the same thing.
Sounds
like
gruff.
It sounds gruff, but
Right.
it's not. So AJ Me, thank you very much for the super chat. Any don'ts for hiring private transportation to the Grand Canyon from Phoenix? Family of 5 staying at an Airbnb in Phoenix for a week. Ooh, family of 5. You might want to rent a car and do that. It's a pretty.
You could probably find a tour guide with transportation that has
like a minivan,
a minivan or something that's big enough for you, but because you have 5. And then you need a driver. That makes your choices much more narrow. So, I don't know.
And the thing is, the highways,
renting something might be easier for you, and it's a lovely drive.
Yeah, and Arizona is, well, it gets hilly, but the roads are really good there.
Yeah, actually, it's very easy to drive from Phoenix to the Grand Canyon.
And the thing is that you can just go in, park your car, rent some bikes, ride around for the day, do that, and come back down. Or what you could look at doing is, I know you got the Airbnb there, so that's already paid for the week. You might look to spend like one night up there. So you rent the car for 2 days. Like get it in the morning, drive up, do your stuff and all the stuff up there. Then spend the night. See the canyon, see some stuff. Maybe go see Meteor Crater or go to Winslow, not Winslow, but go
Winslow.
to Fort William. Is it Fort William? No, that's in Scotland. There's some
Winslow
places.
is not. Yeah. I mean, you can do that. There's just
Flagstaff.
all sorts of
Flagstaff's
stuff.
nice.
And Sedona.
Yeah.
And actually, I like Sedona Canyon better than I like Sedona the town now.
Oh yeah. So you can do it. But the driving, yeah, you're right. There will be some stuff. You can look it up. Actually, like Airbnb has their excursions kind of thing on there. Or what do they call them? Airbnb experiences. You probably might be able to find a driver that way too. So. But Emperor King 2297. Mark, you coming back to Ottawa? And what's the best city in New York to go to? Well, New York City is the best in New York. But if you actually go to upstate New York by the Finger Lakes, that's actually really pretty.
It's beautiful.
It's amazing how different like upper New York, upstate New York is to like New York City and stuff like that. Because the state's actually huge, but everyone just thinks of New York City. Kind of like Illinois, everyone thinks Chicago. And like, no, there's some pretty stuff around there. There's other stuff. But I actually found my Ottawa videos from 2014. So
you haven't put those out?
No, because
I got behind. Thursday's coming up.
Yeah. So I have some of those I got to put out there. So there's that. But Emperor King, yes, we would definitely go to Mongolia. Don't you worry. Okay, Nurad 1. Are the pickpockets and scammers in Barcelona so bad that you think twice about going? Okay, no, I would not think twice about going to Barcelona, but I would be careful. We actually had a fellow traveler, actually wrote me a story and said they were coming out of the airport and there was a group of pickpockets. And this old lady pointed at him and they were coming after him. And he's trying to get into a car as quickly as he could, like a taxi, to get out of there. And the cops weren't doing anything. That's what I think really upsets me about the pickpockets in Europe is the cops just go, well, what do you expect? You're in Europe. I mean, you're going to get pickpocketed tourists. I'm like, no.
But it's really just Barcelona that's bad.
Barcelona's really
bad.
There's other places. I've talked to cops before and I've seen people get robbed and the cops are like, okay.
But Barcelona is particularly bad. A friend of ours is actually going there this summer and she and I were talking about it. I said, here's the deal. Is it La Rambla?
La Rambla.
La Rambla? Yeah. That is
we have videos just walk. If you watch our Barcelona stuff, you'll see it. You can see people pickpocketing.
Shooting fish in a barrel.
Yeah.
I didn't even take a purse when we went through there, I don't think. I think I had a belt bag on and I had untucked my shirt and it was over that because they're just it's insane right through there. So if you're going there, just be really, really careful, okay?
So I have some quick ones I want to kind of go through. AJ, I'm glad we could help you out there. George Winson, thank you very much for the super chat. Yes, we will get to Cleveland, don't you worry. Actually, what is it, the Flats or whatever down there? I actually was supposed to see Green Day one time, and they canceled the concert because they were worried they were going to have a riot because of the concert, but then they always had a riot because they canceled the concert. I'm like... But yeah, no, if Caleb decides to do one of the camps that's going to be in the East Coast, we'll be driving through, so we will stop by. And we, of course, will make a Cleveland video. Don't you worry about that. Other things I want to talk about. Reggie and her man, we Italian Americans can really speak loud. It's our passion. Amen to that. Amen to that.
Mark
Bill
Finley.
Bill Baker. Find myself going back to Germany every year. Is that normal? Yeah, Bill. I've gone to Germany every year since '95.
Our friend Darian, who is Germany personal travel guide, he comments on here a lot. He's the same way. He has to go like at least once a year, or I don't know. He turns purple and explodes. I'm not sure.
he needs his.
Yeah.
He needs his.
Mark
spaghetti eyes.
Mark Finley. He says 2014 means no beard.
Yes, it means no. Oh yeah, Mark saw that one. Yeah, because for our members and our patrons on Patreon, we put out occasional extra video, and so I put out one that was the 5 love and hates of traveling with your buddy. And the hates I did with my buddy Magnus in Malta in I think 2014. So there's no beard, and then the other part was a few years later with my buddy Jeff. With beard, and so you're like, oh, there is a difference. He looks so young and
like
baby soft,
baby face.
So Ryan Bellinger, thank you very much for the super chat. Going to Greece next month. How is the beer there?
It's okay. Mythos is.
Yeah, no, Mythos is fine.
Fine.
Mythos, Alpha's okay. The thing is, what's nice is
their wine
is my
beer.
Yeah. One of the things is back in the day, you only had like Heineken and stuff like that, but after the crisis, the big brewers kind of left, and the Greek beers came back. So if you stick to Mythos, you'll be fine. But what's nice is the beer is nice and cold there, so that's gonna be a good one. So that's nice. And is there driving as bad as people say? Yes.
It's not bad.
No, if you know how to drive.
So let's talk about that really quick. So Greeks, don't drive in Athens. Don't drive in Thessaloniki. Like, stay out of the big cities.
Well, stay out of driving in the big cities.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Stay out of the big cities when driving. But when you're out and about, like, I mean, my dad and I did a road trip through literally, like, we flew to the islands, whatever. We landed in Thessaloniki, and we came all the way down through the Peloponnese down to the water again. I mean, we drove the entirety of Greece. If you know how to do it, it's not so bad. So here's the way to do it. If it's a 2-lane road, they'll have really wide shoulders. The shoulder is actually the right lane, and they will pass you in what we would call the normal driving lane. So when you drive, hug that shoulder, maybe have a couple, your right wheels over the shoulder. And then people can get around you more easily and stuff. And they are kind of aggressive. But just be calm, know to stay over to the right. They'll pass you, just let them go on, and you'll be fine. I drive in Greece all the time. Not an issue.
Yeah. Oh, and when you're driving in Greece, if you're from the U.S., you have to have an international driver's license.
Yes.
Otherwise, they will not rent you a car. Okay, so
even when you're Greek.
Yeah, so make sure you take your go to your local AAA, and you can actually go there. I think it's like $20 or $30. They take your the picture, and then they just make a thing for you. So definitely get that. Sophie O'Neill, when we'll do our Hawaiian Islands, I don't know. I want to go. It's on our. There's a pin. The future trip pin is in the Hawaiian Islands, yes. So we have that.
Okay. New rad one. Jocelyn, you prefer Savannah to Charleston. I do. I lived in Savannah for almost a decade, and yes, I like Charleston. It's a lovely, beautiful city. But Savannah's a little more funky. It's a little more of a dichotomy, and I prefer that. So there's that. What cities or places would you recommend for the Netherlands if I'm there for just a couple of days?
So Patrick Shee writes,
I'm sorry.
What cities or places would you recommend for the Netherlands? If I'm there just a couple of days, I would just be, but you can either be based in Amsterdam and go out to a couple towns outside, or stay outside Amsterdam and go in for the day. Utrecht and Haarlem are right at 20-minute train rides right outside of Amsterdam, and you can stay there for a fraction of the price of staying in Amsterdam, and you can go visit Amsterdam. So you got 2 days. That's what I would do. And both those cities have direct trains from the airports. If you fly in, you can go straight there, see that, drop off your stuff. Next day, you go see, Amsterdam, and then you fly out. So you'll be good to go.
Ryan asks if we have eaten in the capital of the world's gastronomy.
Lyon. Actually, the last time I was in Lyon, I was there with my brother backpacking Europe. Excuse me. And that's the night that Mike Tyson bit off Evander Holyfield's ear, or part of his ear. That's how long ago it's been. So I do need to get back to Lyon. So.
And I've not been there. You haven't taken me.
I
Ooh,
know,
maybe
I'm-
girls will do that on our little girls trip.
There you go.
Ooh.
So naturopathic 4. Be honest, Walter. It's Mark. Have you ever visited Sydney? Yes, I was an exchange student in Australia when I was in high school, and so I was in Temora, New South Wales, outside of Wagga or Wagga Wagga if you look for it. I got to go to Bathurst. I went to Canberra. With one of my host families. It was really nice to them. I went to Adelaide with another host family. It was nice to them. And then I was in Sydney at the end when I flew out, so I got to see some stuff there. But what we're planning for 2021, I'm hopefully going to be teaching a course in Sydney with students. So I would take a bunch of students there, so I get to show them some Australia. And, of course, we'll be making videos and stuff like that, too, to show more, because I think we'll end up staying longer in Australia to explore more than what we can do with the students. So there is that. So Robert Elwood Irvin doing a self-drive tour of Austria in August, in and out of Munich, and first stop is Salzkammergut, then to Millstatt, over to St. Anton and Arlberg, go to Schwangau. Any thoughts? Yeah, 14 days. You got plenty of time. You have plenty of time to visit a lot of other spots. Yeah, I have no problem with what you're going to do. One thing I will say, I would say get the GPS for the car, because I know a lot of us will use our phones for our like Waze or Google Maps or something like that. They're not, the phone is not as responsive to the GPS coordinates and where you are as a GPS thing for your car is. It will be a little pricey, but I think it's definitely worth it. I know when we go to Ireland and Scotland and drive around, we've learned our lesson. Get the GPS.
I don't know why that is.
I know.
Because I don't feel that way in the States.
Yeah, because the thing is also know which towns are along the way, because sometimes it won't say like, oh, this is the B50 North. It'll say like, oh, Regensburg and Bamberg, and you're like, which town do I need to go to next? I'm going to this town, but like it doesn't have the biggest city, so make sure you're kind of checking out the map before you go. So I hope that helps.
Amanda Dodd says, do you think you will ever? Ooh,
I'd not do
except
that.
it just spun out. She said, do you think you'll ever live overseas once the kids are grown? If so, where? Well, Liam was born abroad, and we lived abroad with both of our children. So yes, and whether or not they're grown or not, I don't know. I'm not opposed to going anytime, whether, you know.
We're going to show.
We have a list of places that we would like to live someday. Paris is on the list. Rome is on the list. Nicaragua. I would like to live in Greece. And, you know, I mean, I feel like I'd love to hit the lottery so I could just buy like a little tiny apartment in like several cities. And, you know, even if it's on the outskirts, whatever, just so I can like live there for like a year and then go and live somewhere else for a year and just have all of that. But we lived in Lisbon, and it was wonderful. I wouldn't mind going back to Lisbon, actually. So.
Tyler, cool guy, 88. You are so nice.
Thank you.
Says we have good travel advice. Indy, what part of Germany do you recommend? Where do you go? So a lot of times it depends if you have family from different places, but a lot of people like to go down to Bavaria because it's easy to fly in and out of Munich and go to places like Nuremberg, Bamberg, Regensburg. You can go over to Salzburg in Austria very easily, down to Innsbruck. You can go up to Prague too, so there is that. If you go to... if you're looking to do more west, you can fly, you go to Cologne, you go to the museums in Bonn, and then you can head down and do some of the wine stuff down by Frankfurt on the Rhine. Or I prefer the Mosel for the wines there. Going to places like Cochem, you can have that. If you're going like by Berlin's you kind of get stuck by Berlin if you're going out there. There's some day trips you can do from there.
Go up to the Harz Mountains though.
Yeah, you can go to the Harz Mountains,
and those are quaint little villages.
Yeah, and we have villages. We have videos in all those places, so I can help you out.
Okay. Mary Ellen says, going to Paris for 10 days this June, first European travel. Do people seem like they are aware of autism? You know what? Particularly in Paris, people are very aware of everything. They're very progressive. If you or the person you're traveling with has certain specific things, you know, that you have to be aware of or you have to make other people aware of, get that translated and put on a laminated piece of paper so that you can explain to people what it is that needs to be conveyed in their language, just to make it a little bit easier. But I don't think that you should have a whole lot of problems anywhere. Patrick Duffy, yes, we have been to the south of England. One of my very dearest friends lives in Brighton.
So we have so many nice comments here. Unfortunately, I can't read the name. It says, "You are one of the best YouTubers. Thank you for your efforts. Exclusive, really useful and enjoyable videos. Thank you again, and we will do everything we can to support you. Thank you so
That's
much.
kind.
We really appreciate you, Adrian. I love you. I'm guessing they're talking to me because I'm so lovable.
You are lovable.
There's that. So there's so many nice things here. It's hard to say. Like there's so many nice things. Thank you. Kathleen Examus, thank you so much for the love. It's very nice to get from you. Oh, wait, we're jumping around now. Oh, Johnny Chavez, thank you very much for the super chat.
Thank you.
Question is, my family of 3 is traveling to Mexico City in the first week of July. Besides Six Flags, what other family attractions would you recommend? Pura Vida. So from Costa Rica. So you can go see, there's a few things, there's a historic part. I mean, it's the usual thing. You can go down. The cultural stuff in the center. The cathedral is really great, main square. But kids specific, because I've not been there. My dad went there a lot of times, and he's like, you'd love it there. And we have a lot of our Mexican fans who've said, you should bring the kids. They have a good time. But I don't have anything off the top of my head, aside from like the main square and going to the cathedral and stuff like that, and then going out to the parks. I know they have stuff that are geared towards kids. Like I'm sure there's like a children's museum and stuff like that. But I do not have anything right now. We're thinking about maybe going there for in November this year for a long weekend. So sadly, Johnny, I don't have anything for you, buddy. I'm sorry. I apologize. I suck.
Yay, Mika. Yes. Doing a girls' trip. What's the best area to stay in Rome? We will be there 3 nights.
So here's the thing. Well,
go ahead.
So here's the thing with Rome. Do not stay out of the center. Don't stay far out because getting in, you're not going to save money in the long run taking taxis and Ubers back and forth and the subway and stuff like that. Because once you're downtown, it's all walking. There's so much to see. You're going to walk. So that would be one thing to look at. Now, Termini Station is popular for tourists because it's a cheap place to stay. You can stay closer to some of the sites by like the Spanish Steps or Trevi Fountain. Not right at Trevi Fountain, but like going towards that way.
You'll never get any sleep.
You're never getting sleep like right by there. But like going towards there, it might be, there's some nicer places to check out. So
I'm with him. Annie says, damn, 2,500. Johnny did give us a super chat for 2,500, but that's
in Costa Rican
money, not American.
Yes.
So there's, and I don't know exactly. I don't remember what it is. Is it whatever. It doesn't matter. Anyway, it wasn't $2,500 US dollars.
So Poke Dag, traveling suggestions during flu season now. So the same stuff as usual. Make sure you wash your hands, 20 seconds, hot water with stuff. Make sure
stuff.
Make sure you're not touching nose, mouth, ears, eyes, anything like that without washed hands. Stay away from sick people.
Take some hand sanitizer before you eat. I always try to make the kids. I'm not like a super crazy, hand sanitizer person. But before they eat, I do make them because, they still put food in their mouth with their hands sometimes. I'm embarrassed to say
also
that.
Use it to wipe off your screens and stuff like that.
Take some wipes when you're on the planes and trains and stuff because Clorox wipes, whatever, is some kind of antibacterial wipe because those things don't ever get washed and they can get pretty yucky. So, okay.
So Eric Pelkey writes, what do you two do for work, if you don't mind me asking? I'm actually a professor. You can actually watch my professor videos at Professor Wolters on YouTube. I'll put that here now. And Jocelyn is the queen.
I am the queen of the Wolters World. That's it.
And she's our chief creative officer. So she develops our shirts and all that kind of stuff. She's putting blogs together. She's writing the extended version blogs. Because if you go to our website, woltersworld.com, you'll see basically summaries of the videos. So some people don't have a chance to watch the videos, because bosses don't like when you watch videos. So on our website, you can find the blogs on there. And you just search through, you can find them there. You can read through that way. And so Johnson's actually doing much more than that. She's putting together very long blogs about packing for different places and stuff like that. So she's been working on those.
Actually, I was hoping to get one out on what bag to take. Can you leave that for a second, please?
Sorry.
And I was hoping to get that on Friday. I don't think that's going to come, but I think I should have my what to pack for summer trip to Europe should come out on Friday on woltersworld.com. Okay, Art Teacher 71. What area of Paris should a female solo middle-aged traveler stay in? I've never been there. So I always stay in Montmartre. It's my favorite place. It feels more like a neighborhood. However, in the last 3 years, the amount of tourists going through there has like tripled. I don't know what it is, but it's like everyone found Montmartre. Not that it was ever like a quiet place. It was just it feels like there are a lot more people.
Yeah.
Especially on Abbesse. But is it the 8th?
We're outside the Latin Quarter.
Yeah.
If you stay in like Latin Quarter, right outside the Latin Quarter, that's
the
also
Latin
popular.
Quarter can be kind of loud and sort of obnoxious and stuff. But I was thinking about the Saint Germain area. It's a little more upscale and quiet. So I'm giving you some different options there. So the Latin Quarter, if you're on the edge of the Latin Quarter, you can still get some sleep. But it's like really, there's a lot of vibrancy there. Montmartre, if you're off like a little bit, if you can find a place that's not like right on Abbesse or something, and maybe a little up the hill from that, that's fun. It feels more neighborhoody to me. It feels like a place where people are really living. And then down in Saint Germain, it's a little more upscale and quiet.
Yeah. So Bill Baker, Romania with a 4-year-old? Yeah, you can do it.
Why
You
not?
helped me brave Europe again with my 3 to 4-year-old. You can do it. Not a ton of kids stuff, but they do have the parks they can play around. I would throw in one of those travel soccer balls, the small ones.
Make friends.
Make friends so they can kick around, meet kids. They'll be fine. So you know how to do. You know how it is. Excuse me. Kids will be kids. You'll have a fun time. Excuse me. Next one. Brandon Folk. Thinking about going to Iceland this summer. Do you have any tips on how to save money while there? Hit up the grocery stores. I mean, there's not a lot of ways to save money when you go to Iceland. It is an expensive place to go. Sean Wee, thank you very much for the super chat. Have we ever been to Alani? No, we have not. I don't know that one. So I have something I need to look up.
Yeah.
So there is that.
Good stuff.
Robert Padilla, thank you very much for the super chat. What's your thoughts on travel to Rome with the coronavirus? Planning it for April 2020. I am 38, decent health, but I'm type 1 diabetic, so not sure. So from what they've been seeing, because we talked about this. So Robert, we went through a bunch of stuff at the beginning of the chat. So when this goes, because this will it will become like a video on YouTube. You can see it and watch the beginning because I go through all the CDC stuff. Right now, they have the CDC has Italy at a level 2, which is practice enhanced precautions. So you're going to be in Rome, not in the north where the quarantines and stuff are. So there is that. I know we're going to be in Italy this summer, and we're still going. But that's something you got to kind of think of on your own. I would talk to your doctor about that, see if there's something there. But yeah, so we'll have a video about the coronavirus and the CDC and the State Department's warnings and stuff like that coming out this weekend. So that can give you some more stuff there. But something to think about, and because they're talking like a lot of it was like pulmonary, like lung stuff where people it really gets bad for the pneumonia. But I mean, with type 2 diabetes, it's not pneumonia. So, but I'm not a doctor, so. I don't know if that really helped, but at least you got some stuff on there. So some people were asking about DC, and everyone's talking about Rob, my buddy. So TripHacks DC, definitely check out Rob if you're going to go ahead of the DC area. Dude's got like 4,000 videos and every possible thing you could want, like what to do in each month, each week,
and
everything.
he's local. It's not like he's making this stuff up.
Yeah.
Like he really knows. He lives it every day, and he's amazing as tour guide too.
Mm-hmm.
He took us on a great tour. We had so much fun. I actually did a podcast. We recorded a podcast, and that I did it with Rob. That will be out March 6th. Is that right, Rob? Can you tell me? I think he said
Rob
the 6th.
on here?
Yeah, he's on there.
Oh, hey, Rob.
Yeah. Oh, Mark.
God
gave us $5.
God gave us $5. Oh my! Thank you, God. You're the best. See, we got a picture of your kid back here. So you have that right there. So God. You're going
God's
to Cancun.
Going to Cancun. Everybody go to Cancun in July.
Only God could survive Cancun in July with that heat. So, it's good God. So God is going to Cancun in July, all inclusive. Any excursion I should do. P.S. I'll be drinking tequila with my grapefruit soda. Heck yeah! And get the Fanta grapefruit one. Like Squirt's awesome, but man, the Fanta grapefruit
really
there.
good.
Look at my eyes. I'm just like, get it with there. It's like life changing. Yeah, but God, you know this. You know everything. But God, if you're wondering about excursions. You got to do the Chichen Itza excursion.
Yeah. Ooh, where's my shirt?
Go find your shirt. I get with mine. if you go, Chichen Itza's UNESCO World Heritage Site, one of the new seven wonders of the world. You can go there, see that, and all the tours are the same. I'm going to tell you this right now. They're going to take you there, but on the way, they're going to stop. This one spot where they're going to take you to a market. You can go buy stuff. You can just sit around, do whatever. Then they take you to Chichen Itza. They'll give you a tour there. You can spend going around there. It's really nice. Then when you come back, you go through, I think it's Valladolid or something like that. That's like a little town you can stop in, get some stuff. It's really nice. And then why don't you put it on? And then you have a chance to go cenote. Cenote is a sinkhole with water in the thing, and you can go swimming in there. So definitely do that. That's a whole day. If you're looking for another day trip, Tulum is another day trip you can do, which is a Mayan site that's on the water. And then there's Koba, another place you can go. So there's our new shirt.
This is
Chichen
my
Itza,
shirt,
not chicken pizza.
pizza.
It's supposed to be on the website right now. It's supposed to have gone on the website today at woltersworld.store. But I'm going to have to check because he said he was going to get on there. But
So
we'll see.
this is me being nerdy travel girl. And I don't know, it's pretty easy to draw those things, right? Anyway, yeah, I love this shirt. It's actually really super soft. The men's is like a round neck. I always like V-neck things. So mine's V-neck and it's super soft and light. So there you go. All right.
Oh, come on, it's not on yet.
All right.
So it's hard to get good help sometimes because you can still get the Andiamo shirts that we have on our site. That's still there, but they don't have the new ones up yet. But so that the Chichen Itza not chicken pizza shirt should have been up today. Hopefully it'll be up this weekend. We'll put a little thing about that out there. So if you want to grab some stuff, go to woltersworld.store and you can find some travel gear there, water bottles, all kinds of good stuff that we actually use. Anyway, next up.
And 3 of us are in New York at the end of the year for 8 days from Australia.
Awesome.
Where would you suggest we stay? Daughter would want a room to herself.
Okay, so
Be prepared to pay.
you're going to pay and the room's going to be small. Like usually when you're in the US, you get a double room, you get like 2 queen beds and you can have like 9 people sleep there. New York, you get a double room and it's really for 2 people and it's tight. So you're going to be paying for the extra room. And I would pay for the extra room. I would not get a triple. I would get a separate room for her, just so you actually have enough space. I usually like staying in Midtown because it's easy access to wherever I want to go. I would not stay by where the World Trade Center is down there because there's not a lot going on at night. It's all working stuff. You want to be closer up towards Central Park. Up there, you have more things going on. So that would be what I would recommend.
Okay, Steve Hernandez. Are my kids 7 and 5 years old? Too young to enjoy a day trip to Normandy from Paris? No. Be prepared for tears, and you will all cry. It is one of the absolute most amazing, moving places that I have ever been. Liam was about 5, wasn't he? It was 3 years ago.
5,
Liam was 5 when we took him, and we watched a movie in what museum was that? It was just up from
the one in Bayo. Which one?
Yeah,
the one in Bayo. That's the World War II. It's the D-Day. It's the D-Day museum in Bayo.
Anyway, we watched that, and Liam, he just held on to me. We watched every minute. It was just so powerful. And when it ended, he looks up at me with tears in his eyes. He said, "Mama, will you pray with me for those boys?" And I said, "Yes, I absolutely will." I mean, my heart just broke, but he understood the gravity of it.
And I think that's important with kids because nowadays we protect the kids so much that they don't know. I mean, they don't know about the Holocaust. They don't know about World War II. They don't know They don't know about these things. And it's important for people to see. So then, they understand this is what happened.
So we prevent it from ever happening again, right?
Exactly, because you're doomed to repeat it. So
it's just amazing.
Yes. Oh, so Rob at Trip Hacks lets you know that podcast goes live on Sunday, March 1st.
Oh, it's March 1st. I'm sorry.
March 1st. Trip Hacks DC.
Yes.
Check it out. Oh, we've got a new member. I've never seen somebody become a member while we're online.
Cool.
That's so cool. Thank you, William.
Thanks, William.
Garnsey, sorry about that. Welcome to this helpful travel. That is so awesome.
So cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That is the first time someone became a member while we were on here. So that's awesome. Thank you, William.
Cool.
Sorry, that would never happen. So we're kind of excited.
Welcome to the team.
Mark Finley, thank you. All these questions, some of you need to smash that join button. The member chats are so relaxed and detailed. It's very affordable, worth every penny. So, William, what William will be getting is we put out a video every month that is just for the members, but also we do a live feed for the members every month. And you know how we're like going through question after question after question after question here, and so we don't go really like in depth. So kind of how we did all that stuff at the beginning about the coronavirus and things like that. We get questions from our patrons and questions from our members, and we really sit down and go in depth. So instead of just 30 seconds or 15 seconds or a minute of talking, we might sit there for 5 minutes on a topic. And what's cool is it becomes really like a friendship kind of thing, because it's like friends talking, because it's much more relaxed. And so it's nice that way, because like that's why you see us talking about to Terry and yes, we love you too, Terry. Talking about Terry and Mark, and there's Michael, and there's all kinds of other people on here that we really appreciate.
People a little bit more, but also it's just so much easier to like have a conversation, if you will, because we're trying to answer 1,000 questions on these, but then when we get those member ones, it's a lot slower. Speaking of questions, I want to answer Jose Pereira. Thank you for your super chat. He says, never been to Asia, thinking South Korea, but which country would be an easy transition to deal with the culture shock coming from Massachusetts? So it is a massive culture thing. It's completely different for us. Americans, the first time we go to Asia, it's a big thing. But for me personally, Japan was a place that it was easy to slide into, because it's so well organized. The people are very calm. You never feel, even though you're like in a massive big city, it's so quiet. Sometimes you're like, you'll be walking down the street and there's like thousands of people around. It's almost silent. It's just, there's never, even though it's a big city, you never feel the rush. It's always calm. At least for me, that was my feeling. It's really, really clean. The people are very hospitable. And there are some unwritten rules, like when you hand someone something, you do it with two hands. We actually went to the Asian store today and bought a bunch of candy for this event at the kids' school. And the woman handed us the receipt with two hands. And so we took it with two hands. So that was really, oh my gosh, that was really neat. Mark, we have another member. Catherine, welcome to the team. It's exciting. Look at that. Thanks. Yay.
Really?
Mark's coming. He was filling up his water.
Cool. Thank you, Catherine T.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yep. Very cool.
Okay, what are we working on now?
I was just answering Jose's question about going to Asia and which one would be really easy to mitigate some of the culture shock. I said Japan.
Japan, South Korea.
They're just easy and welcoming.
Singapore, Hong Kong.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean you have some stuff, but it's definitely it's the easier ones to go.
Yep.
So, let's see. So Gary Zeppelin, hey, I've been planning a trip to Barcelona, Paris next month. Any feelings about the coronavirus scare? Actually, when this video goes, like about half hour after we finish, the YouTube processes it and puts it out as a video. We actually talk about Corona stuff for about 15 minutes?
At least the first 15 minutes.
So we have stuff there, and also I'll be putting out a video talking about coronavirus and also talking about CDC and State Department warnings and stuff like that.
And we want to give you information so you can make that decision for yourself.
Yeah. And thank you, Robert Elwood Elvin. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
That's cool.
But one thing I want to say, for those of you that want to watch the video on the CDC versus State Department talk about coronavirus, that video might not get promoted by YouTube because they'll say that video is a controversial topic. So I'll probably put it out on Sunday because I want to get more information so I can get everything through, because I'll announce stuff through Friday so I can get everything together. I want to make sure everything's up there so I can give people like an up-to-date version of everything that's going on with the right emails and the right websites and stuff like that. So that'll be coming out this weekend, so you have that, because I know this is a really important topic and we want people to know. I mean, we're still traveling, but we want people to make their own decisions.
We're us. We're not you.
Yeah, so there's that.
Yeah.
But Robert Elwood Irvin, thank you so much for becoming a member. That is
Glad
awesome.
You're part of the team.
I know we're gonna have to get you an avatar on there so you can
Yeah, got to get your face.
That's right.
Okay, Mark.
Mark, what?
Have you?
Oh my gosh! Yes, that is my name. I forgot.
Have you considered buying a vacation property somewhere? If you could,
A
where would you buy?
vacation property. Hey, Adam, do you sell, what are they called? Timeshares? I wouldn't really look for a vacation property so much. I would look for like a living property. Like how Jocelyn was talking about, like places, like she's like, if we won the lottery, have a few apartments, we'd live around the world. I mean, and
I
so,
would do that. I would like
I feel like
set up some different places in, like I'd probably do 2 in Europe. 1 in Central America would be Nicaragua for me. I'd like a little place in Greece and a little place in Paris. I don't know if I would really buy one in Rome though, because I like, as much as I love Rome and I wouldn't mind living there if we had a job there or something, we spend a lot of time up north because we have some really, really good friends. Actually, Mark is in their wedding this summer, so it's a whole nother thing. So, all right, I want to answer this. I'm going to the Bahamas. Do I need the yellow fever? Do you mean you need the yellow fever shot? We didn't get yellow fever shots until we went to the Bahamas. We didn't get them until we went to Africa, and I think that was because they were required.
Yeah, because if you're going to be, it depends where you're coming through. The place they recommend, there's certain places in Africa that they're required, and then if you're in like the Pantanal, Brazil, some places they'll require it or want you to have it. So just a heads up. Oh, look at that! We got 3 more. Francis Bernard, thank you so much for becoming a helpful traveler.
And
that means
Jennifer
a lot.
And James.
Jennifer Ralph, thank you so much for becoming an independent traveler. And James, thank you, buddy. I recognize that smiling face. Hey, awesome. So many new members. That's great. It's going to be a fun. So our next live feed for members and patrons on Patreon is going to be Saturday, March 14th. And it's going to be, I have it written down here.
Just in time for St. Patrick's Day.
That's right. So it's going to be, I have it March 14th at 8 a.m. Chicago time, because we have some patrons and some members that are in Europe, and they were like, we can't do the evening ones like this. We're sleeping, so we want to do it early on a Saturday so we can get U.S. patrons, we can get people in Europe and in India and in Australia, so everybody we can get help out. So thank you so much. And Francis, you're the first one to use the Wolters World little badge thing. Awesome!
Oh,
I've never had anybody do that before, so that's awesome.
That's
William.
fancy. And Jorge Rojas, thank you.
Oh,
for
thank you,
becoming
Jorge.
an
That's awesome, dude.
independent traveler.
Thank you.
You guys
So-
are overwhelming me.
I know, William Garnsey. Thank you. He's got his first question as a member.
Awesome.
Thinking about going to Buenos Aires next month. Cool. Wife is a bit nervous from a safety standpoint. I'm thinking this just the same precautions that I need to take anywhere else. I go to Oakland. Yeah. If you're going to Oakland, you'll be fine. I would stay in like Recoleta. That's where we usually stay when we go there. There's certain areas you're going to go to. Palermo. That we went to that one. If you go to La Boca, where like the La Boca team is, you see the painted houses and stuff. Like if you watch our 511 Hates of Buenos Aires, we got some stuff on there, and we filmed some stuff there. I spend way too much time on the hates there, and that made me realize I got to change how I put my videos together. But you're gonna go. There's a lot of places you can go to. Just like La Boca, you gotta be during the day. When it starts getting dark, get out of there. Get Uber. Make sure you have the Uber app. You can take the taxis, but taxis are not required to take you anywhere or pick you up. So Uber is much more helpful. So I would definitely have that.
Okay, Nadia. I love Nicaragua. My mom's family's from Granada, and I love how everybody spends the evening out on their rockers.
Amen to that, dude. It was dude. I love the Nicaragua. We need to go back.
Granada was a great city. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, we have videos for that.
Mark, what time?
8 a.m. Chicago time, so 9 a.m. in New York. Sadly, 6 a.m. in LA. But then it's in the afternoon in Europe, and so it'll probably be about a 2-hour long one or an hour long one, or however long you guys are on for. And the thing is, for the patrons and for the members that can't watch the live feed, we actually put a link for that only the members in the live feed can see. So I'll come up and I'll post it so you can watch it later if you can't miss it. And so I actually, on the members feed and the patrons feed on our Patreon site, I actually put up, do you have questions you want us to focus on? So we'll go, we collect those, and I literally we go through them and try to do more research to help you out.
James Land asks, is car rental a must in Normandy? I don't know that it's a must, but I'd do it.
because it's not too hard. It's not crazy driving there.
No, it's
like
simple. It's like the countryside.
Yeah, so it's nice. Like Jocelyn drove a huge mega. When you watch our Normandy videos, you see a big blue.
We called it big blue Bertha.
Yeah,
it was a 15-passenger van. I thought we were gonna get like a minivan, right? Because it was the four of us plus Mark's parents.
My mom had to have a step, and the people were so nice. The Geet we stayed at Geet. That's the farmhouse and stuff. Geet, sorry. And the guy gave us like a piece of wood to make for the step for my mom. He's like, it'll help her.
Take this around. So we carried that thing all around Normandy and Loire Valley with us. It was hilarious. Yeah. Wonderful people. Chick Bea, or is it B?
Chickpea.
Anyway, we have 1.5-year-old twins. Would you take one double stroller or two singles to Paris?
Well, if you're in Paris, the sidewalks are wide enough for a double, and I've seen that quite a few times.
But if it's a double that's front, like where they sit in front of one another,
no problem.
That's even better, I think. You could do. Here's another option, and you'll only be able to answer this because you know your kids. You could maybe take one stroller if your kids don't sleep at the same times and stuff all the time. You could take one single stroller and then possibly like a carrier, so you could. Maybe one gets to ride for a while and the other one gets carried. I don't know if at 1.5 years, if they're too old or too big to be put like in one of those little backpack things.
Or the front, because like Liam, when he was
18 months, he was not in that thing. He was not in a baby Bjorn.
He was in, so his birthday's in April, May, June, July. So he was
15 months old.
15 months, okay, 16 months. And he was a little boy.
He was small, so... So cute.
He's like that cute little baby. Oh, so nice.
All right.
Let's see. For him in Hawaii and Alaska. Sorry, Jeff. My bad.
Is there a difference between Patreon and YouTube membership?
So basically, they're two different things, but we give similar benefits. So like the live feed is available to the YouTube members and the Patreon members. There's different levels because Patreon can get you can go higher, than what you can do with members on YouTube because YouTube has more restrictions. YouTube takes more of the money that you give versus Patreon, which we get more money from there. So we try to give everybody the same like benefits. So whichever one you do, it's fine. So that way, if people feel more comfortable, whichever one they feel more comfortable with, it's okay. Yep. And the thing is if people can't become members, we're cool with that too. We just want to know that we know that we want to help as many people as we can, and we appreciate every help people get and every question that people send. It's like, hey, let's help more people. Let's help more people. It's just a wonderful thing.
Brad has he's going to Lisbon in in less than 30 days. Is the Thieves Market worth the time to go?
Is that what they call the thing on the river now?
Market down on the river now.
So it
wasn't called that.
It wasn't called that back in the day. There's a bunch of them now. Like we go to one in Camp Dorique.
That one is really
that's
cool
really cool.
Too.
They're worth going to. Honestly, I like them.
But the one in Camp Dorique will be filled with just locals. You would be hard pressed to find a tourist there.
Yeah, because that Thieves one is all tourists. They have all kinds of. When I used to live there,
there'll be
some locals there, but it won't be like it used to be.
But the one in Camp Dorique is something else. And what's crazy to me is that some of the Hatu Market.
Yeah.
I used to go there like once a week to buy my fish in the morning. And it's crazy. They're now making them. There's still like the fishmonger and stuff like that, but they're making these fancy places, and it was like practically just a warehouse, which kind of cracks me up. But anyway, so we need to.
Thank you, Bevan, for the nice, kind words. You get so many nice. Thank you, everybody. Oh, it's jumping around on us.
Crazy.
Darren 175. Thank you very much for becoming a member.
Thank you for joining.
We appreciate it. That's the thing is, remember, what you see go by here is we see something different, and it jumps, and we look and read, and it gets a little bit crazy. Yes. Oh, there's a super chat as well. We're on Courtney Briggs. Hey, love your channel. I know we've chatted a few times. Thank you so much. I've seen some of your videos. Very nice, very nice. Thank you so much. That's really nice. You all are just like being so nice to us, everybody. Yeah. Thank you so much.
All right, I want to address this, and you're not going to like it, but Adam asked if President Trump was ever brought up in conversations while we're abroad. Every president ever has been brought up in conversations while we're abroad. Mm-hmm. We don't talk about
politics,
any kind of politics. And you know what? I'm pretty sure that you shouldn't talk about politics either, because everyone sees it from a different perspective. Whether we're in America or we're abroad or whatever, people have they're coming at it from a different mindset. And generally speaking, people are not going to agree.
Yeah. The thing is I've been yelled at because of Trump. I've been yelled at because of Obama. I've been yelled at because of George too. I've been yelled at because of Clinton. I've been yelled at because of George. I've had people that have thrown punches at me because I didn't like what what was it? Guy was talking about.
Didn't like
they didn't.
it,
Yeah. No,
you.
he was saying that someone with Ford. I'm like, what the? That was like 40 years ago.
Wait, President Ford.
Yeah, I was in Finland, and I'm like, what the hell?
We weren't even born.
I know. That's what I'm saying. So we don't ever talk politics. So if you like politics, we're not the channel for you.
No,
go watch
we're
something
not.
else, and we're done with that.
Thoughts on Flanders Fields?
From Spec and Armati. Hey, good to see you, man. Another member. Thoughts on Flanders Fields, please. Yes, go do it. Flanders Fields. If you're not sure what that is, that's where the battles, like where the trenches were in World War One. You can go from Bruges by Ypres. I would definitely do a tour because it's such a now there's movie 1917, so you actually can see some stuff about World War One. But there's very few World War One movies, so people don't know. If you're in Kansas City, there's actually the World War One museum and monument is there. I know in DC they're going to start building one, but Kansas City has the museum there, and it's fantastic. And when you go to Flanders Fields, you start to see like the bombs are still coming out, and like people would fall, and like a turtle, they get stuck in the mud, and they would just sink down. There's nothing they could do because they couldn't get them out. It's insane. And like definitely take a guided tour. You'll go to like Ypres when you're there, and you'll see all the buildings there. Like, oh, our cornerstone of our main building was laid in 1945 because the entire city was wiped off the face of the earth, and you'll just see so much. A bunch of people were asking about Mongolia. Yes, we will go, Francis. We will definitely go to Mongolia one day. I know we have a plan to go to Bhutan.
I want to go to Bhutan, and Mongolia is one of the places that you can come in. No, not Mongolia. Nepal is where.
But we were thinking of doing that.
It'll be those three together.
Because the thing is with because people get upset.
Weather is hard.
Yeah, the thing is, people get upset with us because we don't go to certain countries. It's not because we don't want to go. It's because some places it's so far or the right season, like
weather when the kids are off school.
Because like people are like, why aren't you going to Southeast Asia or the Philippines? I'm like, because we want to spend a few months there. And when the kids have that time is during rainy season, and I'm not going to go to the Philippines in the rainy season because it's horrible.
Miserable.
Like even the locals, like don't go. Like we travel places and they're like, Costa Rica guys like don't come in October, man. Just don't. It's just rain. It sucks, man. Just don't do it. And so that's one of those things. So we're thinking about putting it with Mongolia, Nepal, Bhutan, like kind of that area together for a couple months. So that's a future trip. And then also like because some of those things, it's a lot more, especially if it's going to be like hiking and stuff like that. He's 8, and so we want to get to him so he's going to be more safe when he's doing the hikes too, because we're not going to leave him behind.
Eli Katz asks, how many days do I need for the Grand Canyon? Also, what's a must-see in Tucson? I'll be there for one day. So,
Sonoran hot dog. Eat one.
A Sonoran hot dog in Tucson. They are excellent, and I don't even like hot dogs, but they're really, really good. So I want to answer the Grand Canyon thing first. It depends. I can't tell you how long. Like we spent a day there and that was fine. We did a bike tour with Angel Bike Tours. I remember the name.
Yeah.
And Mark had the kids in the little carry thing behind him.
2 of them. And man,
it's hard work because it's high elevation. I was like, man, I can't breathe. What's wrong with me, Mark? I feel like I have asthma or something. And he's like, stupid. Like you're in really high elevation. So, but if you want to hike it or you want to go rafting or whatever, I mean, it's all up to you. And then something to see in Tucson. So I love Tucson. There is, I love the Sonoran Desert Museum. It's indigenous animals and stuff. And maybe it's because I lived there as a child, but that place is really cool to me. And then DeGrazia, there is an artist named DeGrazia, and they have a really nice museum of his, and he's got really beautiful work. He was a really interesting human being. So those would be 2 things I would say. And then the Sonoran hot dog, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay. Sarah Phillips, thank you for becoming a member. So she asked, so we should do Patreon instead of members? No, you can do either one. It's okay. You're going to get the same benefits. It's okay. they're just two different things. Because some people don't want to give their money to Google; they want to give it another way. It's totally fine. You're fine. Keep me right here, so it's okay. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let's see.
Hang on.
No,
Is living in an RV frowned upon in Europe?
No, people. There's a lot of RV parks,
especially in Germany.
Well, they're all over.
But
just there's. I will say the RV parks in some parts of Europe have kind of become overrun. So you do want to have a heads up. It's a different vibe than if you go to RV parks in the U.S. But like Germans will always take their RV and go to Croatia or Italy or something like that. So there is that.
Yep.
So
Maché Tessier.
Oh yeah, from before. Yep. Maché Tessier. How to keep valuables safe in rented apartments. Okay, this is an issue because there's never a safe in those places, and you're hoping that the place is safe, just like you hope your house is safe.
That's about it. Also, don't take valuables. I mean, you always have your passports if you're abroad. So yes, that's something. Always have an e-copy of that somewhere. Have a paper copy of that run off somewhere, and we even leave paper copies with family here in the States if we're traveling abroad. But generally speaking, like I don't travel with any jewelry of consequence. Honestly, I have a silicone ring that I sometimes wear, and I have this little band that I bought at Target for $5. My earrings, my necklaces, bracelets, whatever, none of them are worth more than $10 because whether they're stolen or they're lost or I break them or whatever, I don't want to lose something that I care about. So don't take valuables. That's the short answer.
Yeah, it's like we tell our kids, like, look, if you're going to take toys you take, it's great, but you might
you
lose them.
You got to be willing to lose them.
And then that help, and that's one of those things that's a lot easier. Like it helps you understand, like, okay, I don't need to take this.
Yeah, you prioritize
like
a lot better when you think that way. And it's not that they're going to get stolen, but you might just lose things, you know?
And one thing you might want to look at is just like in your own house, maybe you find a place to hide your stuff in the apartment. So, just don't forget where you put it. What I'll do is I'll put a note in my phone, like 6 hours before we're supposed to leave the apartment. Like it'll go off like, oh, my passport's under the bed or something like that. So you have that. So Adam L, thank you very much for the super chat. Thank you for your answers. Love your channel. Miss the lives. I'm glad you could be with us this time, Adam, and I'm glad we could answer here. Lucas Gore just arrived here from a link. Nice to see you. What are you guys talking about, or is this isn't any specific topic? Now, we're talking about anything today. We started out the first 15, 20 minutes talking about the coronavirus and the warnings and stuff like that. So that's what we started on, and we kind of went for the awesome questions that our awesome fans have been asking us and fellow travelers. Holly Bell, Faroe Islands, one day we will get there. Don't you worry. Let's see. Oh, okay. Ermi! Okay, Ermi, awesome. She has been with us on Facebook and here forever. Yes. I think she invented YouTube. I think because she was here that early. Like she's been in beginning. Welcome. She knew me when I was just Mark. Before people start calling me Walter and stuff like that. So Ermi, thank you so much. We love you. You're awesome. Yes, Ermi and I are old buddies. So Ermi, she updated. Oh, Ermi, you're the best.
You're sweet.
Yeah, that's the thing is like, because Ermi, how long ago was it we started talking when you were writing on Facebook and helping with trips? It's got to be like 6 years ago, 7 years ago, something like that. So there is that. So awesome. Okay, so Spectrum Armati, going back to the passport, but going back to the apartment kind of stuff. Francis, I'm really glad you got to jump on too. And have a good night too. Spectrum asks, what about your laptop and electronics? You need to leave them in your Airbnb. Yeah, I actually do leave my stuff there. What I'm using now is I have a Surface, Microsoft Surface. That's my traveling computer because it's so thin and light. It's not a big deal. Like my bigger laptops, that are much more powerful. I've decided, you know what? Like I said, I don't want to lose those. I'm gonna leave those at home. So what we end up doing is with our laptop, I'll actually, we'll still lock up our suitcases and stuff and things like that. And there is some liability kind of stuff you want to think about with Airbnb and things like that. That's why we really do look for, the reviews and stuff
and
like that.
And on Sunday on Trip Hacks DC podcast, Rob, who runs Trip Hacks DC, he and I did a podcast together and it goes live on Sunday. Can you put a thing on there somehow?
Rob, post if you're on here, buddy.
Yeah, Rob, if you're still on here, if you could post what it is. But Sunday he will have our whole thing, the good, the bad, and the ugly of Airbnbs and just general apartment rentals, apartment and home rentals. So we talk for a good 45, 50 minutes probably about our experiences, and we give a lot of really good tips. And we also kind of teach you about red flags and things too. So hopefully that will be helpful.
So, Lexi is going on an EF tour to Europe soon. Is there anything I should know about safety in Italy? We have a video, the don'ts of Italy, but the mistakes of Italy video has some stuff on there. Also, look at my scams of Paris video. That will be some similar stuff you'll see in Italy. I actually have a scams of Italy video, but I haven't got it out yet. So that's there. If you want to read the blog about the mistakes of Italy, go to woltersworld.com. It's actually one of the last. The blog just came out a couple days ago. So there's that, and the video's on there too to help you out. So I hope you have fun. And Jennifer, I hope you have fun too on your EF tour. That's cool. So Adam is Adam, there you go. Thinking about buying a piece of land in Roatan in Honduras. Have you been there? I have not been there, but we're actually looking to go into Roatan in 2021 because we want to get the last few places because we need to get Honduras and Panama to get everything in Central America because we want to film all that stuff there because we really like Latin America and we want to help promote tourism there. So that's why we like doing our videos and stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm going to sign out. I got to get my kids to bed. It's 9:30 and
they need to go to bed.
We're going to have a really ugly morning tomorrow if I don't get them in bed. So I love you.
Love you too.
See you later.
All right.
Bye guys.
But I will stay here. Yeah, I'll stay here and talk for a while longer. Don't worry, we'll get some stuff. I'll try to run through some things here because we got a lot of questions that I haven't gotten to. So Mache Tessier, VRBOs, do's and don'ts would make a great podcast. Yes, we are going to be doing a don't. We have a love and hates of the Airbnb stuff, but I think the don'ts would work a lot better for that, and that's something probably will be on a future podcast. And for those who don't know, I just got the microphones for our podcast. Hopefully, we'll be starting those at the end of March because we're going to get some stuff together. So what we're going to do for our podcast, occasionally we'll have interviews, but what we want to do is kind of focus on a different city or a different country. And kind of have that. So if I want to learn more about going to Venice, we can have a podcast that's just on visiting Venice, what to look out for, all the kind of stuff there, talk about our experiences and things like that. And then maybe have one like traveling with kids. So all the stuff you want to think about. So we're going to be doing a lot more stuff with that. So don't worry, they are going to be coming. All right, let's see what we got here. Bren Flynn. Me and my friends will be backpacking across Europe for 2 weeks in May. Very cool. Plan to do Dublin, Amsterdam, Brussels, Venice, Naples. Should we skip Brussels to spend more time along the Amalfi Coast? Yes, you should skip Brussels regardless of the Amalfi Coast and focus on the other places you're going to go. There's better places to go on your trip and spend that time on the Amalfi Coast as well. Better spent there than in Brussels, okay? Let's see. Thank you, Brad, for the nice words. Pedro Portillo, any hidden gems about New Orleans? So New Orleans is kind of funny because everyone goes there for Bourbon Street and the party stuff. But the thing is there's bars and districts all around the city to go and enjoy. So you don't have to do Bourbon Street. I was just there for a guys' weekend for Super Bowl. And we went and we were there for 3 nights. We only went one night out to Bourbon Street. And other times we went out into other parts of the city. So there's actually some other parts you can go to and get out. Out of the way things, you'd be surprised like how many people don't go to the Garden District. They all just stay downtown because people just think New Orleans is partying, but it's not. There's so much more to see there with museums. The World War II Museum, the aquarium there is fantastic. The parks and stuff. So the cemetery tours, there's all kinds of really cool stuff. Eli Katz, why don't you like Brussels? It's not that I don't like Brussels anymore. It's just more that I think Brussels because it always gets associated in the news with Europe, and so everyone thinks it's like kind of like a Paris-London thing. Think of it more of a medium, small-size city kind of stuff. You'll be okay. It's got some good museums, but the Mannequin Pit is about this big, and so people are like, "Oh, that's it." I'm like, yeah, that's it. The square is fantastic. It's gorgeous, but I always recommend Ghent or Bruges or Antwerp more if you want to get some Belgian stuff. Go to the Ardennes. There's some really nice stuff there. JF, would you be open to having guests who are knowledgeable about cities that you haven't been to? Yes, I would definitely do that. I'm sure we'll have people on from places because we can only go so many places. Like we want to get more. Like I have books and stuff like this from all over these are like the library book stuff, you know, the fiction, and over there is all the guidebooks and stuff like this where we travel, and we want to share as much as we can, but we know we can't get everywhere, so we try to help people when we can, which is something we might do, especially when like big events are coming up. Like we can talk about going to Tokyo for the Olympics and stuff like that because we've been there, but if people are going to go to Qatar or Qatar, however you want to say it, for the World Cup, we haven't been, so maybe we'll have someone come and talk and help out. So don't worry. Let's see. Next up. Oh, Laura Steinfort, thanks again for your Italy videos. I just went there for the first time and had a blast. I'm glad you had a good time. That's awesome. Next up, Beltran. Jamaica or Punta Cana? I like Jamaica. We like Jamaica better, to be honest. We love Jamaica. Punta Cana, Dominican Republic is. I mean, I know Jamaica doesn't have the safety reputation either, but I think Dominican Republic there is more safety issues. And Dominican Republic, you're in Punta Cana, you're more likely going to just stay at your all inclusive. Whereas Jamaica has a lot more stuff to offer inland that's you can get to, like hire a local driver and they'll take you and do stuff like that. I mean, they're both worth seeing for sure. But we just like Jamaica better. Let's see. Jason Sarkis, people really want us to go to Hawaii. We do too. Hey Mark, I know you haven't done a Hawaii video, but do you have any recommendation for traveling to Oahu? I'm going for 7 days. Want to know if you had restaurant, beaches, and other things. I do not. I've not been. I haven't even done research for going there. We just have the pin on the thing saying this is a 1-day trip, or not a 1-day trip, but one day we will go there trip. So I don't have anything, buddy. I'm so sorry. Does shooting, okay, Daniel G, does shooting video affect your trips, good or bad? Yes, it does. One of the things is when we go places, I do a ton of research before we go. Like I read books, I read blogs, I watch videos. I try to get as much as I can. I talk to locals, our fans like you, send us information. Hey, I'm from this town. I know you're going to be coming here. Hey, here's some tips. I love to get in. Maybe we'll meet people who are there, fans who are there, but also I'll just talk to the locals. I'll talk to the waiters. I'll talk to the hotel people. I'll talk to people I meet on the street and we go out to eat and stuff like that. And I like to get an idea of how things are going. And I'll film a lot of B-roll, like with my phone or my camera, just to kind of get stuff there. And then at the end of the time, I'll just film to make the videos. And the thing is, I know a lot of travel vloggers, they do vlogs. Like, here's us doing these things. So you see them going through the process. And we don't really do that. Like, my goal is to help prepare you to travel when you go by yourself. Like, I'm not going to hold your hand. I'm not going to show you. I'm going to tell you what you need to know, and then you can go enjoy it yourself. And so we like to prepare people for it. So we don't film while we're doing this stuff. Like, I might do a little, like, 10-second thing here, the kids doing something, or me doing something, whatever. But in general, I'm like, look, I want to enjoy these things too, because if I focus on enjoying the spot, then I can tell you more about it. Whereas if I'm holding the steady cam and here's me doing these things, isn't this fun? Well, I'm not focusing on the camera and holding the camera and not focusing on this fantastic museum or these fantastic cultural experience. So we try to do that. So when I try to film, it does take a little bit away. So now what I usually do is I actually film in the morning. So I'll get up early. I'll go out filming because one, it's quieter. There's less people out. And so I'll film, and Jocelyn and the boys will be in the hotel. Then I, come meet them for breakfast, and we'll go adventure for the day. And then when the kids are playing in the park or something like that, I'll throw up the tripod and I'll make another video here or there. And so I do things like that. So I hope that helps give you a little bit of information. Jeffrey Bloom, Niagara Falls is great, but you only need a day or two. I agree with you. I recommend actually doing the Canada side for the views better. For the ride into the falls, the U.S. side's better for that. Let's see. Some people asked about Toronto. Toronto is, yes, it's freezing in the colder months, yelling, popping. It is. But it is a really cool city. I mean, it is one of the coolest cities in North America, man. It's a good time. So I'm thinking about going back there for a weekend because I had to cancel a trip, so I have to use up my flight credit before the end of August. So I'm going to make sure I get... try to figure out where I can go. So I'm trying to find out some weekend trips I can go. So Toronto was one of the ones our fans voted for, Toronto and Key West. So I'm like, I could do that, but I don't know about Toronto in February. Maybe Toronto in March. We'll see. So we'll have some stuff like that. Let's see. Oh, it's jumping around from us. Rusty Shackelford. Which do you prefer, Scotland or an all-inclusive in the Caribbean? Scotland. I'm not an all-inclusive person. I like to go out and explore more. I love the Caribbean. It's great, but Scotland's for me is the big thing. Jeffrey Bloom, Buffalo isn't crap anymore, we promise. Hey, I like Buffalo. It was cool. I interviewed with Canisius College there for a job. I didn't get the job. I got the job where I am now, which is fine. But it's kind of funny that was the place we were looking at going. Daniel G, do you get trips sponsored at all or do you pay? I pay. I pay for all this stuff. That's one of the things. A lot of travelers, you'll see a lot of things online. Like if you start watching a lot of travel blogs and follow a lot of travel bloggers on Instagram and stuff like that, I'm going to guess you'll see a sponsored thing saying, do you want to travel the world for free? Do you want to have this? Do you want to have a job that lets you be a nomad and all this kind of stuff? Look, this is not a cheap hobby to have. I mean, like, I think being a travel blogger is more expensive than being like, addicted to some drug or something like that, because it is a lot. Like and we pay for it all. But the thing is, the people that get sponsored posts, like I don't want to. If I got sponsored to do something, you feel obligated that you can't say anything bad, and I don't want that. Like for you fans, I want to give you honest travel advice. Like and companies do. We're not against sponsorships, but all the companies that have come to talk to us, that have asked us to do stuff, say, look, if you want to work with us, you have to understand we are all about honest travel. We want to help other travelers know what's there, and so we are not doing a commercial. We will tell the good and the bad of your product, your place, your location. And basically 99 times out of 100, they say no because they just want me to make commercials for them. And that's why you'll see some travel bloggers that'll be like, oh, this is the greatest city in Mexico. And you're like, wait, you just said that about 3 other cities ago. And like, wait, I thought it's kind of like when you see the influencers are like, this is my favorite shampoo. Like, wait, you had 2 videos before. Oh, because you're doing the affiliate link and you're getting paid to say that. And we don't want that. We want you to know that you can trust us. And so we really focus on that. And there's companies we use and we love, and we would love to work with them. But, like one company that I use in every single video, they're the company I have part of my equipment for. And I'm like, they wrote me. I'm like, I love your stuff. Like, great, we'll send you it, this new version, and we'll have it. And then you can do a video. And I'm like, don't have to send it. I already have it. Actually, I have 2 of them. And they're like, great. So once you film your video, make your blog, then send it to us and we'll tell you what you have to change. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I can't do that. And they're like, oh, if you're not going to do what we want, then I'm like, you want a commercial. You don't want an honest opinion. And that's what I want. I mean, that's one thing is, we want to be seen as honest travelers. And so that's why you don't see too many sponsorships, because most brands have talked to us, and there's brands we promote, like we promote Delta all the time, and we've never been sponsored by them. And people are like, you must be sponsored by Delta. No, we're not. I mean, Liam has gotten stuff from Delta sent to him, and we know the people and we love flying with him, but we don't get paid for that. We don't get any discounts. So it is that. So hopefully.
But if you work with Delta and you want to sponsor us.
Yes, but if you work with Delta and you would like to sponsor us, we do enjoy flying with you, and we think we enjoy your team, so we would definitely do that. So that's one of those things. There's some of the stuff we use. We definitely, like I love my Surface, but there's all kinds of stuff. Yes, Katie Hale. Yeah, Instagram is fake. Yes, Instagram is fake. If you notice, a lot of times they'll have the same clouds because they put those things in there. When they show the Great Wall of China empty, or it's never like that. So that's what we want to have. Like, that's why you don't see too many drone footage with us. You don't see any, because I'm like, that's what you're going to see as an actual traveler. We want to give you like the real advice. Okay. So Key Getaway. I love your information. Thank you so much, Katie Hale. Thank you. Holy Bell. This is the exact reason I stopped trying to be that or watching people who do videos like that. Yes, the same here. That's why a lot of people ask me, what travel people do you watch? I'm like, I actually don't watch too many. There's some I trust, I believe in, like Gabriel Traveler. The dude is like hardcore, like, budget backpack and stuff. He'll tell you how much it's going to cost to be somewhere if you need to do it on the cheap, man. I trust him, man. He does his stuff. Rob with Trip Hacks DC, the dude is like, look, I'm giving you like what it's really about at DC. Like, there's people like that kind of true stuff. I'm like, hell yeah, that's why we have video with Rob. We have stuff like that. My buddy Dutchified Arno in the Netherlands, man. The dude's like, hey, this is legit what it is. And I think a lot of it is because a lot of us have day jobs, so we don't have to, like, whatever you need. Like, yes, I'll take that $50 to make you sound fantastic. We don't do that. So there is that. Yes, you're right. Kazoo, credibility is more important. I agree. Anyway, let's get back to some more questions, because I also have to teach at 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, so I'll have to get up too. Jennifer Ralph, I'm glad the honest opinions. Thank you so much. Truth is better. You're right, Katie. You're right. Okay, let's see. Brianna Nordseth, is 2 days enough to see all of Yellowstone? Well, you won't see all of Yellowstone, but you can see a lot of it. If you go to a Wander-Filled Life. We've actually worked with them. They do all kinds of stuff on advice for national parks throughout the U.S. and all the National Park Service. A Wander-Filled Life. They're really good. If you look at our video, the don'ts of visiting national parks in the U.S., they actually are in the video with it. There's links there that can help you out if you're going to go there, give you all kinds of great advice. Let's see. David Savian, what experience in all your world travels freaked you out the most? I think the one that made me go, whoa, the most, Caleb, Jocelyn and I and Liam, we were in China. I was teaching there in Beijing. And we're going into the Forbidden City. And we're waiting in line. We got our tickets. We're waiting for our time to go in. And Caleb and I are kind of walking around because there's no shade. You're just dying. It's like 105 degrees. You're just dying, right? And Liam is like melting, and we're just pouring water on the kid so he doesn't like burst into flames. And Caleb and I are walking around looking for shelter, and we both turn around at the same. We're talking. We both turn at the same time, and there's a dad holding his probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 year old up in the air, legs wide open, and the kid is pooping into the trash can, and the poop is bright orange, like Cheetos orange, like. And both Caleb and I were like, and to this day, I mean, it's been 2013, I thought 7 years now. I think it was when I taught there. And he still remembers, like, I'm like, Cheetos, he's like, poop. Yeah, like, it's like traumatic, like burned in my brain. I'll remember it for the rest of my life. Like, and like, the thing is, we didn't say anything to each other. We're just like, and then we just walked back to where Jocelyn was, like, what's up? Like, nothing. Like, it was like, that was too much. So that was the most whoa thing that I can think of off the top of my head. Let's see. Oh, Darian, good night, buddy. Good luck with everything. Good night. Let's see. Daniel G, is backpacking in Europe dangerous? What exactly is backpacking? So backpacking, Daniel, when people talk about backpacking Europe, they're just talking about traveling around to a lot of different destinations in Europe. And it used to be you take a backpack with you and put everything in there and just goes place to place. It's not necessarily dangerous. It just depends where you stay. Which, like, you can travel around the U.S. or Canada. Same deal. You're just traveling around. That's all it really is. It just makes it sound fancy when you say I'm backpacking Europe versus I'm driving around on vacation. So there is that. Katie, I'm glad I could respond. Thank you so much. Let's see. Christy Simmons, what has been your favorite country to visit and why? It's really tough to say which countries. It's countries. Like, you can go for, like, if I go by like continent, like Brazil, I love Brazil. I speak Portuguese, or at least enough Portuguese that I can really meet the locals and hang with them. I love it there. I love Italy and France. I mean, I still love Germany too, but I think if I had to choose, Italy and France would be my two ones I'd love the most there. Rwanda in Africa, we've just loved. I mean, I would go back there to heartbeat. That place is incredible. Japan was awesome. So there's all kinds of stuff. Let's see. Okay, CJKV. Hey man, I'll be in Ireland for 2 months with school. Any recommendation for day trips? I'll be an hour south of Cork. Hour south of Cork. You mean the water? So if you're guided by there, Kinsale's nice, right by Cork. Cork's more of a city kind of thing. You can do the Ring of Kerry, which is right by there. The thing is Ireland's so small, and if you're there for 2 months, your weekends, you can go and see so much. You can see pretty much all the main stuff. Like, you can get over to Waterford, that was nice. You can get up to Dublin, Kilkenny, Galway, the Cliffs of Moher. I mean, any place. We have just watched the Ireland videos. You can get to every place if you got 2 months, so it's not going to be a problem. Yelena Poppin, any advice on starting a travel channel? I've been traveling 2 years straight and want to start filming. I would say do it. We actually, on our Professor Wolters channel, we actually have advice videos and starting a YouTube channel. One thing I would say is go find 10 travel YouTubers you really like and write down what you like and don't like about them. Like the loves and hates kind of stuff, or strengths and weaknesses of each one. And then go look at 10 more YouTubers that aren't in travel that you really like. And what do you like about them? And kind of learn from them, like what's working, what doesn't work. But I think one of the important things is, if you're going to do a YouTube channel, find your own voice. Because you try to do, if you try to be, it's kind of like with fast food restaurants. You can't be McDonald's too. Because people want McDonald's, they're going to go to McDonald's. You got to have your own voice. You got to be your Culver's with your Wisconsin cheese. You got to be your Burger King, your way, right away. Find your own voice and do that. And because, you know what? You'll be surprised how many people have a voice that want to listen, that have voices just like yours, that want to learn from you. So I think it'd be really cool, especially if you've been traveling around for 2 years. That's some awesome stories you can share. So let's see. Rusty Shackleford, Mark, Peoria fan here. I was there for a concert a few months ago. Where'd it go? What is your favorite Illinois trip? Well, I love Quincy because that's my hometown. Chicago is always a fun time. I know a lot of people like to go up to Galena. But yeah, I still like going to Quincy. You got all those nice little towns, all those nice. There's a lot of buildings there, some good eating. You go over to Hannibal to see America's little hometown kind of stuff. So I like that. So there's some things there. But Peoria's done a really nice job cleaning up their downtown, making it nice. They've really like redone it. I was there. I was very impressed. Annie, our master's program's hard to get into. Depends what program you're going for. I have students that'll come to me like, "Hey, can you write a recommendation?" Sure. Where do you want to go? Oh, NYU, Harvard. And I'm like, your grades are like B minus. You're not going to get in. Find one that's going to work for you. So, Annie, are master's programs in Europe hard to get into? No, they're not. I think they're easier to get into than the U.S. So there is that. Let's see. Katie, hey, I love this. I've been following you for a while. This is the first live stream. I'm glad you could be there. Yellen, I'm glad we could help you out. Thanks. Trip Hacks DC. Oh, Robbie, these are great tips about starting a new channel. That's why you're the professor. Thanks, Rob. I appreciate it. And the thing is on my Professor Wolters channel, I've been putting out a lot of basic marketing videos because that's one of the classes I teach. And I want to have it so if my students can't make it to class, they can still learn the material. But I'm almost done. We got like 175 videos on there. And I'm actually going to be switching more to helping people start YouTube channels, podcasting. We're going to talk about social media. I'm actually going to put my social media marketing class. I'm going to be actually developing that and make an online version of that. So if people want to learn about that stuff, I'll have that on the Professor Wolters channel. And so we'll have a lot more tips on there, and professional responsibility, professional presentations, all kinds of things like that. So yelling to pop in, there'll be a lot of stuff on there to help you. And there actually already is a bunch of stuff like how to start, mistakes not to make, comments you should never leave, things like that. So there's that. So Michael Kohler has a question. Do you do collabs very often? No, but the person above you, Trip Hacks DC, we do have a couple collabs together. You can check him out. I've done with Rob from Trip Hacks DC. I've done it with Arno from Duafire. I've done it with A Wander-Filled Life. I've done that with was it Tiny Traveler? She doesn't have a YouTube channel. I think she would have been fantastic, but she kind of disappeared. Done stuff with them, but when I've asked people to do like collabs and stuff, a lot of people just totally blow us off. Like I'm like, I would love to do something. Like they're like, no. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, I've been at an event say, hey, would you like to do something together? Like, no. I'm like, wow, I can bring good ideas to the table. And I think one of the things with collabs, I honestly don't know why people don't want to work with us. I mean, I don't think I'm a bad person, but I like helping people and stuff like that. So, oh yeah, my buddy, one of my students, we have one for our Don'ts of Hostels. He's got his channel going now. He's doing good. So there's been some good collabs we've had over the years. But I'd like to do more. But I don't know. Like I've had people that are just straight up like, no. I'm like, all right, well, you've done like 9 other collabs. I thought I'd help, or we could work together. And the thing is, if you're watching this, like Elena, like if you want to do a collab with somebody, what it is, like you might want to suggest, like, hey, here's my idea of a collab we could do together. Here's what will be on your channel, here'll be on my channel. If you have ideas, kind of go that way. So there is that. Let's see. Someone was asking if I've ever been by Buffalo. I have been. I was saying I actually interviewed it for a job at Canisius College back in the day. So good times. Let's see. Oh yeah, Spectre puts this. So the people that are watching the coronavirus, with the coronavirus questions, the beginning of the live feed, the first 15 minutes, I really talk a lot about that. Like I only talk about that. We don't even get to the questions and stuff. We just talk about that at the beginning. And this weekend we'll put out a video talking about warnings and stuff like that, so you can make your own decision about the traveling stuff. So that'll be off there. So they have that. Let's see. Thank you, Salim. I appreciate that. Satay Noodle. Whoever didn't want to collab with you guys really missed out. I know, but hopefully it'll pick up. Now, and sometimes the collab stuff, like I got a buddy of mine, John Michael Gaudier. He does futurism and space and astronomy and stuff like that. And he and I have been working on a collab for a year now. And it's just because we can't get the time together. So I film part of mine, he films parts of his, and we're still trying to get like the don'ts of space travel put together. It's like a fun one. So sometimes it's some of those things like, hey, that could be kind of fun. Like I just talked to a Brazilian professor who does really good for Portuguese speakers. He does really good videos on learning English. I'm like, and I follow him. I'm like, man, I learned about English from you. And so I just wrote, he's like, Mark, you should do a don'ts of speaking English for non-native speakers. I'm like, well, we could do one together. He's like, that'd be great. I'm like, all right. So we're trying to work on something there. So it's kind of interesting. Yes, Sarah Phillips, mean people do suck. I agree. And that's one thing is I really appreciate all of you on here that comment, and you're always really like on the up and up and nice, and people are like being respectful and stuff like that. I really appreciate that. That's one of the things on YouTube. It's really hard to control those things because though YouTube says we're fighting, trolls, we're fighting this, they don't catch a lot of stuff, and I don't get like all the comments. Like even if I went and said I want to see all comments, I still don't see all the comments because there's like 40,000 comments a month, and I go through and I probably reply back to a couple thousand of them, but they don't give me all the notifications for them. So don't think I'm ignoring you if you've been commenting. I didn't see you. It's kind of like this. There's so many I missed some, but then also some I don't see, and YouTube doesn't always tell us. But I really appreciate on you all like being cool and being helping each other out. Like if you notice all these different questions people have had and other people have answered them and helping out. And this is one thing that's great about this YouTube community kind of stuff, that we all help each other out, and that's what's so cool about it. So that is awesome. The Geo Scholar, I'm a geography. I don't mind doing a collab with you. So much overlap with geography and travel. Sure. If you're write me on Twitter or Facebook. It's all Wolters World Instagram private message on here. We can set something up because I have been filming videos for quite a few years about some fun geography stuff, so it could be fun to do some stuff together. So hit me up, and thank you very much for the super chat. You don't have to pay to do collabs with me, by the way. Don't think of it that way, but cool. Let's see. Oh wait, a bunch of stuff just jumped around. Let's see. Kathy Falk, I don't work with Delta, but they are great, especially their cookies. Yes, they are. Joanna, thank you very much for saying I'm a nice person. My students usually think that until exam day. Then there's the ones that didn't study. Then they don't like me. The ones that studied, like, that wasn't bad. I'm like, exactly. Because I teach you what you need to know. So it's nice. Let's see. So, Manav Kamura Saxena. Hey, Walter. Love your videos. I want to ask, which camera is the best for photography? Second, would you ever like to visit Chernobyl? Okay, so first up, in terms of the camera stuff, you'd be surprised. A lot of my stuff, I just film with my phone. They become so good. The Galaxy S10, this is S10, S10, yeah. For a lot of like the little 10-second things, I'll just hold it and do that. They do a really nice job. But when I actually film, I use a Sony. I want to do that. But I have a Sony Alpha because it's small enough that if I have like shorts with big pockets, I can just put it in there. So I don't look like the professional photographer kind of stuff. I look like a normal person. And that makes it a lot easier because then people aren't like looking to rob me as much because I'm just some fat traveler, not some like, oh, that's somebody with all that stuff. They must have money because they have all those fancy camera things. So there is that. But there's a lot of people that talk about those. In terms of visiting Chernobyl, I actually met people that lived by Chernobyl during the accident, people that were born and have some of the birth defects from there. And all the like spooky travel destinations or things like that, I try, like Chernobyl I'm going to avoid because I don't want the radiation. Okay. And people go, and that's fine, have fun. No, it's I say everyone travel everywhere. I'm not going to tell anybody to not go anywhere because you know what? Well, I might not like, you might love, and what you love I might not like. It's totally fine. But like Chernobyl I would not go to because having broken parts of my body so many times, I think I get enough radiation from the x-rays. And with all the flying I do, I definitely got enough radiation going. So why take the chance? CJ KV, I like this one. Mark, you hooked me up with travel advice so I don't learn the tough SHIT the hard way. How can I ever be rude to you? I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Sarah Phillips, yes, smart to add a couple mods to filter them out. Yeah, that has really helped. It is nice. And so Mark and Rob and Michael that's on here, you all that help, I really appreciate it. Help moderate a lot of this stuff. Chris Siniceros, thank you very much for the super chat. Oh, wait, you just disappeared. Hold on, I got to find you again. Wolters World, my family and I are open to suggestion for places to visit for spring break, which is in 2 weeks. Any suggestion for places in the U.S.? Much love from Houston. Okay, so we always are big in Savannah, Georgia. Savannah, Georgia at St. Patrick's Day, they have like the third biggest parade in the U.S. or second biggest parade in the U.S. It's a big, huge thing, like a good time, but getting accommodation can be a bit tough. So if you go a few days after You'll be fine. So you could like maybe do Charleston and Savannah. That could be something there. If you want to avoid, I mean, another thing that might seem different, it might be a little too cold. Like if you want to see something totally crazy, like go up to Minneapolis. Or actually, if you're gonna be flying, you go up to Toronto or Quebec City. I mean, I know it's gonna be cold and snowy, and since you're from Houston, you might not have the clothes for it, but that could be a fun thing to do. Also, in terms of our spring break trips we've done in the U.S., we've done Arizona, we've done Georgia a few times, we've done going to New Orleans. New Orleans is another one. That's not too hard. I mean, it's far, but like we're in the U.S. You're in Texas. Far is nothing. So that's another good one. But there's a lot of other places that people don't realize. Like Kansas City, dude. I was like, man, Kansas City was great. I loved it, and I was totally surprised. So you got some. So there's a lot of options for you. So I hope some of those can be helpful. The Geoscholar, I look for you on Instagram. Yeah, it's at Wolters World, so you can check me out there. Okay, Craig, turn on that check. Any tips to physically prepare for a 4-day Inca Trail hike in April? So I've done the Inca Trail, and you will hate yourself while you're doing it, but you'll love it when you do it. I remember I was doing it at my 22nd birthday. I got to the highest point, my 22nd birthday, and all the people were hiking with started singing happy birthday to me. It was like the most awesome experience. It's not so much, it's not this way, it's the up and down that'll get you, and the height, the altitude. So to prepare, I would definitely like hit the gym, the treadmill, like, and put treadmill at a very high incline, and get yourself kind of acclimated so you're getting your like cardiovascular going, because you've got 2 months, you get your cardiovascular doing pretty well. So like bike classes and exercise classes and stuff like that, excuse me, that should help you out. So exclusive LM, did you ever meet celebrities on your travels? I have never met anybody. One time when I was in school in Vienna, I saw Steven Tyler from Aerosmith at a distance. So I saw that, and then there was a band Onanama, which was a band without a name, a boy band in Germany back when I went to school there, and my aunt and my uncle and my mom and my dad were visiting, and after 10 days of German food, they wanted something American, so we were at Fridays, and so the band Onanama came, and they're like, "Can we have your table?" I'm like, "Oh, we're gonna get up, man, no problem." Like, we were paying. They're like, "Yeah, go ahead." They were very nice. So that's like it. I've never met any famous people, so. Sorry. Let's see other things we have on here. The Geoscholar, your Texas video is one of my favorites by you. Thanks, man. I appreciate it, dude. Thoughts on Madrid, Lewis? We have a few videos. I have a shock Madrid videos. I have a don't want us to need to put out. I actually enjoy Madrid. There's a lot of really great museums. There's a lot of great day trips from there. Segovia and Toledo are easy to get to, like buses or trains to get to them, and you can get to them easily. But I like the museums. I like the tapas and nightlife Madrid are fantastic. Well worth it. So I would definitely go if you got a chance. CJ KB, my mother summited Kilimanjaro in her 50s. You very much want your cardiovascular to be in good shape. Exactly. Let's see. Pakistani kids in USA. I don't know what your question was. Send me your question again. I'll see what's on there. Ryan Roberts, you guys, along with Rick Steves, have encouraged me and my wife to travel and have many adventures. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much. I'm really glad to hear that. It's really nice to see. Let's see. Thank you to the people that have joined on Patreon. That is really nice of you, and all the members, the new members that have joined up. It's very cool. If you scroll through, you'll see some member-only posts. You'll see like tips for visiting Pilsen. You'll see the 511 hates of Buddy Travel. It's just like talking with a couple of my friends, so you can have a good laugh at some of those things. There is that. So Eddie Valdez, what place have you been to yet that you would like to go in the future? There are a few places. Israel, Egypt, Bhutan, where else? Like those are the big ones. I kind of want to go to Botswana. I'd like to get down there. I want to get to New Zealand. These are places I haven't gone to before, because I've been to a lot of places. So it's like people are like, why would you want to go there? Whatever country you're thinking, I want to go there, or I've been there and I do want to go there. So there's a lot of stuff I want to go. Thomas Reiser, thank you very much. Thank you about joining us on Patreon for that. Any local events coming up in Champaign? I don't actually know. I don't think there's anything in Champaign coming up right now, except for like the usual university games and stuff like that. We can hope the Illini and IO keep going. We can go into the tournament and have some fun there. So there'll be some stuff going on. I think Champaign does better in the fall, especially when you have like the Sweet Corn Festival, and you got the Hardy's Reindeer Ranch in the north and stuff like that. So there's some stuff to do, but like that's why we travel a lot. But then the fall we usually stay around to go do stuff around here. So that's nice. Joan Diaz, do you have videos to visit Hawaii? Sadly, I do not. I wish I did. And we're sending love to you in Puerto Rico. Jocelyn's been there. She loved it. I need to get there so I can film some videos there too, so we can have a good time. One of my good friends here, he and his wife are both from there, and yeah, they're like, dude, you gotta go. So we gotta go. Let's see. Nick Barnett, how about Uzbekistan? Would you head there? Yeah, I go to Uzbekistan. We're actually looking at doing kind of the stands in Georgia and Azerbaijan. We were looking at that maybe for this summer, but then I got a teaching gig in Austria, so that's 3 weeks of teaching. So I'm doing that. And so that kind of cut into it. Then we have a wedding to go to in Italy. So it's like work and Italy. And then, so we have that. So it kind of went to the wayside. So, but hopefully we'll get there again. Let's see. So Hallie Cardoso is going to the Azores, Terceira and São Jorge in July. Any suggestions? Eat the beef on the sword. You'll see it. It'll be hanging, dripping down. It's so good. And get pictures of the A-frame buildings. Or A-frame, it's like an A-frame. It's just really, really cool. So you have a good time. People are super nice there. My actually PhD coordinator is from the Azores, so I learned a lot about it. So that's cool. Night, Reggie Enterman. Thank you very much for coming on. Really appreciate it. Okay, Francis Barnard. I couldn't get this out of my head, so I came back, and I'm glad I'm still online for you. Wow, we've been on this for 2 hours now. Are you and your family Harry Potter fans? If so, have you been sorted? Curious about your houses and or Patronus. So yes, we are Harry Potter fans. We have, so both Jocelyn and I had, before we got married, we actually had the entire sets. So we actually have 2 sets of Harry Potter books. I've actually read the Harry Potter, the Sorcerer's Stone, the Philosopher's Stone. I've read it in Spanish, Portuguese, German, Lithuanian, and English. So quite the fan. Except my wife writing me to be like, hey. So we have done, we are big fans. Go to the movies. The kids loved the Harry Potter, Magical Order Harry Potter in Universal. I wasn't there for that. They've gone twice. They really enjoyed it. So yes, we are Potter fans. So there is that. So I still remember going to the first movie with my friend. I was living in Germany, and my friend, I remember the first time I read a Harry Potter book. I was flying from Frankfurt to the U.S., and my friend Jennifer, who lives in Hanover still, and she's like, Mark, these Harry Potter books are great. You should read them. I'm like, yeah, whatever. And she's like, no, you really like them. I'm like, okay. And so I bought these magazines and a book to fly home, to read on the way home. I was doing my master's at the time. And so it's been a few years. And so I put my book, when you're checking in, I was like, oh, I don't want to have to carry my stuff. So I put my books and magazines in the front part of my suitcase. And then I checked my suitcase, and then I sent it down. I'm like, wait. And they're like, it's gone, sir. I'm like, dang it. And so I had nothing to read. And that was back in the day when you didn't have really too many options for the plane for entertainment. So I'm there, and at the Frankfurt airport, I'm like, okay, I'll find an English book. And so I'm like, oh, there's that Harry Potter book she talked about. I got the first one. From the flight from Frankfurt to Chicago, I read the whole book. And then at O'Hare, I bought the second book. And then I read that within the next day. And so I got home to my parents' house, went straight to Walmart, and that's when the 4th book, Goblet of Fire, came out, and I bought the 3rd and 4th book. And I read them back to back, didn't sleep for 3 days. So yeah, sorry. That was not really a travel thing. That was more like a Harry Potter thing. So there is that. But I've never been sorted. I have no idea. We kind of figure Caleb would be a Gryffindor for sure. Liam would be a Ravenclaw. Jocelyn, I don't know what I think she thought Ravenclaw or Slytherin. Me, I don't know. I'll let you guys decide. Let's see. Other stuff. Come to Albania. Yelling and popping. Yes, actually, we have thought about going to Albania. And that's one of those things I want to get down there more, like Albania, Macedonia, Bosnia, those things. That is another future trip. So don't worry, you're not on the list. You are. H. Krishna, how to get cheap business class tickets. Actually, if you go look through Expedia and you book a hotel and flight combination, you can actually get really significant discounts on business and especially first class tickets. To look at that, a buddy of mine does it all the time. Now, you don't get all the benefits of having bought straight through Delta, but you get the cheaper flight. So there's that, and then you get a hotel, and you don't even have to use that hotel. Sometimes just that one hotel, you just have it, go there. You just get the low price for that. So there is those things. Kim CG, oh my gosh, thank you for asking the Harry Potter question. I'm glad we could do that. Hey Mark, Shannon Kingdom. Hey mate, just wondering how cold it gets down in the south in December. Visiting December. Cheers from Australia. Okay, so if you're in the south, you mean the south of the U.S.? South of the U.S. is kind of like Sydney. It doesn't get cold, but it's not warm. Like you're just gonna want to have something like this occasionally, but you don't have to have like the winter coat kind of stuff. Okay, so if you're gonna be out in the southeast of the U.S., let's see. Have I been to Milwaukee? I have not been to Milwaukee since I was probably 12. I remember liking it, and I remember looking up a lot of stuff for it. I know they built a new museum, not really new now, on the lake. So it is an eventual kind of thing we will check out. Demorad, yes, we will be going to Turkey. We will be making Turkey videos. Don't you worry about that. Other questions. Francis, I've been curious for a while about their houses. A proud Ravenclaw here. Love it. I love it. Let's see. Oh, Yelena Poppin. I'm an American. I just moved here to Albania. Plus, the economy can use the help and the hospitality is bar none. Yeah. And I think Albania has gotten a really bad rap over the years. And that's saying a lot of places, people have associated stereotypes people have about stuff with the country. And the thing is how things change so quickly and over time that I think a lot of us, that's what's so great about travel. It starts opening your eyes. And that's why I like doing these don'ts and shocks and stuff. It's like, hey, you know what? You can go to El Salvador. Have you thought about doing these things? It's really kind of nice. Francis Webb. Hi, Mark. Have you ever been to Pensacola, Florida? When I was a kid, on our drive down to Disney World, we did stop by there. But I had a friend of my master's program, Danielle Garber, who was from Pensacola, and she was a big fan. She still lives in Florida now. Syed Shahab. Visit Pakistan. It's amazing. One of my coworkers is from there. He's been trying to get me there for years. So I think they're actually taking a group of students there next year. So who knows? We can maybe be there. Alistair, I can totally see Jocelyn as a Slytherin. I love it. Brennan Folk, how many days needed in Prague for a first-time visit? I would say 2 full days. But I'd do like 3. Like a long weekend, you'll definitely have enough time to see all the good stuff. Let's see. Last few questions, because after 2 hours and 15 minutes, I'm going to get to bed because I still have to get all my stuff ready for class tomorrow. Like I still need to write my students and remind them that they're doing their presentations to like know about their companies they're working with tomorrow. Like some of them know because it's in the syllabus and I talked about it weeks ago. But sometimes students don't really read the syllabus or at least memorize it and stuff like that. So I'm going to do some stuff here in a bit. Let's see. Brennan Flo, 4 days in Germany. Which cities are a must see? With 4 days, you're not going to go around a lot. I would like fly to Munich and see Munich and then go up to Nuremberg or maybe a day trip. You can go over to Salzburg, actually. It's an hour and a half, and you can use the Bayern ticket to get there. So there's all kinds of good stuff. Oh, Mrs. Maddie. Mrs. Maddie. Which pupusa was your favorite? So for those of you who don't know what a pupusa is, it is a Salvadorian or from El Salvador food. It is the food of El Salvador. And what it is, you have 2 tortillas. They can be made out of corn or rice. Yeah, rice. Well, anyway, the rice one was the one I liked. There's 2 tortillas, and inside the tortilla, there are different fillings, beans and cheese. I like the queso con chicharrones with like pork. Jocelyn loved the one with cheese and garlic. There's like 3,000 bajillion different versions of it, and it's all good. You will have it, but make sure you don't make it a taco. You rip a part out, then you pinch some of the cabbage stuff and the sauce and eat that. Oh my God. Thanks, Mrs. Maddie. Now I'm really hungry for those things because they were awesome. So there's that. Anyway, all right. I'm going to take off. I really appreciate all of you. I wish you happy travels wherever you're going to go. Be safe when you travel. I really appreciate it. I love these live feeds we can do and have so many other travels on here. So thank you so much for everybody. Eric, I'm glad you love the channel, man. Thank you so much. Remember this weekend we'll have a normal travel video. Then I'm going to put out a video about the CDC and the State Department's warnings and stuff like that, so you can know when they say, "Oh, it's a level 3." Well, it depends who you're talking to and stuff like that.
Check your phone. I just sent you a link to the podcast.
Oh, okay.
For when it goes live.
Okay. Well, I will post that on our YouTube link. So for those of you who want to watch the Trip Hacks DC live feed, we will be posting that on our YouTube community page and on Twitter and on Instagram and all those things. So you can hear Rob and Jocelyn talk about all kinds of stuff like how to watch out for like scams and stuff like that. It's going to be at triphacksdc.com/podcast, and you'll find them on there. But I'll post that up there when it goes live. But you can like pre-watch some or pre-listen to some before you start. Anyway, night Francis, thank you so much. Night John, night Kim, Andrew, CJ, Geo Scholar, everybody. Wish you all the best. Thank you so much. Joan Diaz, muito obrigado de nada. Estou feliz que estás cá. Wish you all the best. Bye. Terry says bye, Jocelyn. Anyway, wish you all the best. Thank you, everybody. And I am going to go back to work at my other job stuff. So we'll have that. Love you all. Thank you so much. Happy travels. Bye.